Hey you guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. I am trying to get everything set up. You have to pardon me. This is my first time doing this where it's not just pointing it down at the dogs. So, see if I can't create some distance here. Great. And every time it does that, I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay. I don't know why the app stopped. If it continues, I'll try to do something else.
You guys get it back.
Let's see here. There's midnight.
Midnight, back off, woman.
Midnight. You're good, girl. Dude, don't hit the camera. Don't do that. All right, let's see here. Make sure that nobody's streaming, please.
Streaming?
Mm-hmm, the internet. Okay. Hopefully that's not going to be a persistent issue. So...
Hey, midnight, back off. No, midnight. Lost me.
Alright, so is everyone off?
Huh?
Is the internet free?
Yes.
Will you do me a favor and monitor it?
Monitor what?
The stream.
You want to just like look at it?
Yes, to make sure that it doesn't disconnect, and if it does...
Oh, and it's on me. Let me turn that around. There we go.
I don't know why it has that set. I bet you it's something I can change.
It keeps on turning off. We apologize for that.
Yeah, we may have to figure this out, you guys. I don't know.
It's the second time it's happened.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
there's a big fire going on in Texas.
and we actually have really good internet here, so I'm not sure why it's doing that. I bought a webcam, but it doesn't work. So yeah. Okay. Oh, my coffee. See if I can't. Okay. Perfect. So, here we are.
Hey, velocity back up.
Now I can... All right. Perfect. Okay, so I'll start answering questions now. Hey there, Tennessee. Hey there, Tennessee. So, let's see here.
Hey, back off, woman.
Hey there, Christina. What kibble do I feed? I feed a brand called Nature's Domain from Costco. It's a grain-free dog food in the beef variety. So, yeah. No, Rasta's not my dog. He's here for training. By the way, Rasta, Savannah, turn around. Rasta.
Hey, Rasta, leave that blanket alone.
Speaking of Rasta, anyway, he's here for training. He's not our dog. The places I take my dogs, are they pet friendly? Most of them are, not all. Some of them I just go, I keep them on leash, and then when I go far enough out into the woods, I take them off. What is the importance of pedigree? To keep track of the way in which a dog is bred. Hey, get out of there. That's a tight spot. Go on. So, for example, if a dog was bred well, you'd want to know, what dogs went into the pedigree. That was the original purpose of it. Laura, thank you very much. Figured out to move. Hold on. Let me see. Figured out. Stop. To move the button to the right to increase money. Didn't know how to do that during live births. Oh, thank you very much. I'm new to this too. You guys are being such hams. You're being a ham.
How did you discover? Wait.
All about the kisses. Okay. Let's see here. Is it okay to feed kibble and raw? I do. Let's see. Have you seen the FD warning about grain-free food? Yes, I have. It has to do with a lack of taurine. So I always try to supplement taurine by giving them lots of heart meat and raw meat, really nutrient dense red meat. And that is what kind of helps to counteract that. Hello there, Freya from Norway. How much does Blondie weigh? I don't really know right now.
We haven't checked in a while.
How much do you weigh?
You want me to check that? I can't even pick her up.
Let's see. How did I come up with all the dog names? Oh God.
Well, it's a process.
Meticulously. Very hard. It takes forever. I put way too much effort into picking my dog's names.
It's a process.
Let's see. I asked you on your Facebook page. What's your opinion on the white or cream Doberman dogs? I don't know anything about them. My only thing is I don't agree with anyone who breeds for color. If color comes along while you're in the process of breeding dogs for function, then that's awesome. But one should never choose color to be their primary goal or reason for breeding a dog. All right. How old should you breed your dogs? I breed my dogs on the second heat because it's healthier for their bodies. You don't want dogs to go and have heat cycles where they're not bred because it's counterproductive to the dog's uterus, and so the progesterone actually has a really negative effect. Thank you so much, Shay. I appreciate it. We love your support. Thoughts on the Greyhound racing ban in Florida? Very sad day. Very, very sad day.
What happened?
They banned, my daughter doesn't know this, they banned Greyhound racing. And unfortunately, that was, the Greyhound, if a lot of people know this, but they have some of the best hips in the business. Their hips are like, they form and are built so much stronger than most dogs' hips, and it's because of the fact that they've been used for work. So any dog that's been taken out of its original purpose and then used for show is always a bad thing. So it's very sad. Those dogs, from my understanding, were not being, can you watch them please? Were not being poorly taken care of or abused. There was a really extensive rescue network. So I just don't really understand the necessity for outlawing it when it wasn't a bad thing. Let's see here. Yes, Chesney, exactly. 8,000 dogs now need homes. It's a really sad thing. It's great for the rescues, really sad for everyone else. The Mexican, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I feel like I missed one.
No, you did.
Yes. Okay,
somebody
Charlie.
$2.
Thank you very much, Charlie.
You guys back
so
off.
I can be a bit long-winded. So because of the fact that I've got my little tripod here, my dogs are just gonna try to hit it and run around it.
Let's go.
That's what they do.
Everybody, outside.
Anytime that I've got something new, they want to be like, "What is it?" Let's see here. Let's see. How would I handle a pup refusing their food? Give them time. Most dogs won't starve themselves. Let's see here. PETA sucks. Yes, they do. They kill a lot of dogs. There are some crazy people. Let me tell you something. If PETA has their way, nobody will own any dogs. Let's see. Do I feel that this will yes, absolutely. I do feel that this in particular, this ban is going to affect other breeds. I do believe that there is this movement where people believe that using an animal for anything other than just letting it be your pet is somehow abuse, and that's really unfortunate. Hey there, Sherry. If I could have any other dog breed, what kind would it be? I'm supposed to be getting an Old English Bulldog soon, so that's about the only thing right now. Tips for a shiny coat. You know,
Raw food?
I would, yeah, do some raw. Make sure that you keep them hydrated. If you do feed kibble, kind of wet it down. That's about, yeah. And then get them out and let them enjoy life. I think happiness has a lot to do with it. Yes, I do plan on doing meetups. Absolutely. Especially once, you know, the channel grows bigger. I would even like to do possibly like a workshop where I maybe travel to different cities and kind of do this kind of thing, or even demonstrations with the dogs and stuff, which would be really awesome. I am not your typical dog trainer. I'm more of the person that people need for your everyday home. So, you know, you need to have a better relationship with your dog as far as getting along, understanding them, and being able to train them and have a good working relationship. And that's really what I focus on. If you're looking for somebody to teach your dog to heel or to, you know, to do bite work or whatever that is, those are different trainers. But I really handle the basics, the fundamentals of the disconnection between relationships between dogs and people.
Somebody said, when will you
is it possible to feed too much raw? Absolutely. If you feed too much at one time, you will know. They get what we call rot gut, which is really bad smelling farts and burps. It's,
let me
turn it around.
Did it? There you go. You're good.
So my knee is doing much better. Much better.
How did they know about your knee?
Favorite pack member? Don't really have one. Would be impossible. Let's see here. If I wasn't breeding Corsos, what dog would I be breeding? I have no idea. Probably an Elant. Do I feed full raw? Some of my dogs, yes. Let's see here. What age will a female stop breeding? I mean, a female will continue to breed as long as she goes into heat. That's really up to the specific owner. Some people breed females for a very long time. I personally don't. I usually retire my females around 4 to 6 years old, just depending. Let's see here. Do I give the dogs toys? No, not really. I will give puppies toys to chew on, but for the most part, toys are a form of instigation for fighting. They get possessive over them, and it becomes a problem. Let's see here. Seneca's in her kennel. I can't keep an eye on her right now, so I can't have her out. That's
She's likely to
that's a rule with her. Difference between pit bull and Amstaffs, is there one? Yes, there is. So I forget what year it was, but way back in the day when pit bulls were all the same breed, which was a breed that, you know, I know a lot of people don't like this, but they were a breed used for fighting. At that time, the AKC wanted to get away from that stigma, so they renamed the breed the American Staffordshire Terrier. So even though genetically they were the same group, they eventually were separated, and over time, I mean, you might as well call it two separate breeds now, especially by the look of them. They look very different. Temperament's very different. Thank you very much, Suds. How do I train my dad's dog to stop jumping on me? Little nips and bites when kissing. He doesn't believe in cages. When a dog jumps on me, what I will usually do is as they jump on me, I'll immediately take them down. I'll catch them kind of in mid-air and kind of put them down in submissive posture, and with a very stern no. Usually the idea is not to hurt, it's to kind of shock them, be like, whoa, and then they quit. So, and that's the idea, is that they need to know not to do that again. And then I ignore them. That's another thing too, is you push them off, ignore them, walk away. Is Blondie going to be bred? Possibly, we'll see. It really just depends on her health testing. Let's see here.
Around that, so they quit going.
It's okay. They can come over here. As long as they're not bumping into this, I'm fine. All right, so let me see here. Where am I at? You inspire me. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ashley. I appreciate it. How to get dog to stop eating his poo. You're going to have to go out there and watch him. And when he goes to the bathroom, as soon as he turns around to try to smell it, correct him, say bad dog, try to shame him, and then go and run him inside. And then you clean it up when he's not watching. And then overdoing that over a habit, he'll stop doing it. Let's see here. Should I give my Cane Corso a Kong toy? If you have one dog and you want to give him a Kong toy, go ahead. We have a couple Kong toys. We do like to have them for the puppies when they can't just keep chewing on stuff. But we don't, once the dogs get older and they don't need to chew on stuff anymore, we stop using them. Preacher, where is Preacher?
Upstairs.
He's upstairs? Okay, he's upstairs.
Well, I don't want him running down here and knocking everything over.
What age do I recommend stop breeding my dog, get her fixed if she's 6 years old now? I probably wouldn't breed her anymore. I mean, that's just me personally. I'm not trying to judge anyone who does differently than me. That's just my personal opinion. If you wanted to get a breeding out of her, like if you wanted to make sure you had one of her offspring and you hadn't been breeding her and you were wondering if you could maybe breed her one time, that's possible, but I wouldn't do it just to do it. Thank you, Jenny Boots. Bull-made Mastiff versus Cunning Corso. Can you speak to the difference is there in regards to training creatures? So I'm guessing it's a Bull Mastiff. I've never heard of a Bull-made Mastiff, but I would say that the Cane Corso for me is more of a is less of like a happy-go-lucky kind of sleepy, slow kind of dog, like the doo-doo-doo kind of dog. Cane Corso is they're still a very capable working breed, and they have some sharpness to them that I think requires a more experienced owner than say something like a Bull Mastiff. Now, some Bull Mastiffs, depending upon what lines you can get them on, can be a little bit more like that, but in my experience, they're usually just big softies.
German was like that. He's very
let's see. Hey there, you guys. So, it's Cane, not Cane. It's not Cane. Cane is, a walking cane. It's what people, it's C-A-N-E. It looks like it's spelled that way, but it's pronounced Cane. And if I called them Cane, then I would be judged for basically being a person who doesn't know what the dogs are really called. Although I will say that I'm not the type of person to correct someone in public if they mispronounce it. I don't want to be pretentious. So, yes. So, thank you, Samantha with Hawk Ridge Cane Corso. So, as far as showing creature, I've had a lot of people ask, if you're against show dogs, why are you showing creature? The idea is that everyone knows about German Shepherds, okay? Originally, German Shepherds were all really great dogs. And then you had people that were in the show community and they bred a different kind of dog. And over time, because of the lack of good dogs being entered in, you had an abundance of these other dogs. And so the idea is that nobody can go back in time and fix the German Shepherd. But right now, the Cane Corso is kind of a new breed. So it's still a pretty rare breed. So we're not at the point where the breed's been ruined yet, or that they've been bred to look so differently than they were before. Some of them do, not all. So Preacher has really good structure. You've all seen him move. He's proven himself time again. He's proven to me in temperament and protection. So I know that he's a great dog. It's not that I'm taking him there to prove to myself or anyone else that he's a great dog. The idea is to allow a good dog like him to be able to be in that area so that people that are in that area can see that, right? Like, it's one thing to sit on the sidelines and say, hey, what you guys are doing is wrong, but not to participate or to try to make it better. I'm trying to make it better. Originally, I thought that the show people were all really shitty, pardon my language, really crappy people.
Sorry.
But I was wrong on that. I was wrong. I've met some really great people lately, and I've realized that sometimes a few bad apples can make it seem bad. So I'm gonna give it a shot. We're gonna take Preacher out. We'll see what happens. But at the very least, we will start to bring people over from that side to start to see that not all dogs have to have that champion pedigree all the way through. You can get a good dog. Without that. Not all dogs need that. Girl with a gun, thank you very much. Hi, Mama. Just wondering if Cane Corsos drool a lot, and if so, can you treat it so they drool less? Some drool, some don't. My only dog that drools is Preacher. He's got a lot of lip, and it's actually a fault. The fact that he's got those lip things that come, those little dewlap things that come down. Tennessee, where do you think you're headed to? Come down here. Come here, back down here. Don't you go up them stairs. Come on. Now, Tennessee. Good girl.
Here's a baby girl. Here's a baby girl.
Okay, sorry. So,
Here, let me move this a little higher so you can actually, you're just seeing a bit low.
okay. I wouldn't
There you
move it too much. But anyway, yeah, Preacher drools a bit. He's got some extra lip that he probably shouldn't have, so it doesn't help him in that regard. I keep a bunch of rags. I buy cheap rags, like a big packet of them from Walmart, and I have them everywhere. And I just always wipe his mouth. And what I do is I make sure to kind of open up his lips and get all the way in there and give it a good dry. Lucky, what happened to Alex? He and we broke up. We weren't able to make things work. Sometimes people grow apart. That was one of those instances. So unfortunately, it's just me and my little co-pilot over there and the dogs. So, yeah. My girlie. My little baby child.
I make her coffee.
So, let's see here. Keep missing your question. I'm sorry. I got a large dog who plays rough with my small dog. My small dog will bite and draw blood from the big dog in defense when he gets rough. You can't let him get rough. Like right now, Velocity and Blondie are over here trying to get rough, and Savannah's over there playing referee and trying to stop them. So, if you want them to not get rough in the house or mess with each other, you're going to have to interfere and prevent that from happening. So, yeah. Let's see here. Thank you, Shane. I'm getting your...
Hey, quiet you.
Who is that?
Him.
No.
Hey, Timothy, back off.
No. Thank you, Lisa. She is doing a great job. Let's see. How old should you... a male... Any point once he's had his health testing done, which is, watch her. So when they have their health testing done is usually around, you can get your pen hip scores done, I believe at 4 months old. And then some people do their OFA, that's around 2 years old, but really you just want to make sure that you've got your pen hip score done. You can't breed them obviously until they're old enough. I would say that probably no more than maybe 6 months old. Can you let him out? I think he needs to go out.
Yeah.
Hey, Blondie, any tips to get your cat and dog to get along? Teach your dog to respect your cat's space, and your cat will accept your dog.
We didn't really have to worry about that too much because our cat's tough.
How to stop dogs from teething on furniture walls when you're gone? You're gonna have to put them in your kennel until they're old enough to be trusted alone. What I did with my dogs to prevent them from acting out is I have a security system that I can talk through on my phone, and so I put it up somewhere where they couldn't really see where it was coming from.
Specifically on the top of the stairs.
Yeah, and then on ours because it's a 2-story house, so I had it up at the top of the stairs where he can't see me, and then I had the motion sensor on. So anytime he would get up and move, it would let my phone know, and I would talk through it and tell him to go back to his spot. And I would notice, like, if he was just barking out the window at somebody, I'd leave it alone. But if he was starting to act up, and usually they start by kind of whining, maybe getting up and pacing, barking, I would get onto him and tell him to go lay down in his spot. And as long as he thought that it was me, it wasn't a problem. The one time I had the camera where he could actually see it, he tried to eat the camera. So don't do that. But if they think it's you, they'll just go lay down and go to their spot. As long as you've taught, obviously they need to know to go to their spot. So that's something to keep in mind. How's the property coming along? I went out there earlier today to get these lights today. They did dig the septic. There's a big, huge hole behind my house. So the well is done and that's done. So as far as I know, that's where we're at. Let me see. What do I think about crossbreeding? I don't have a problem with it so long as it's done for function. So bull lurchers, people that have working crosses, I got no problem with. Rosta's training's doing very well. He's a stubborn little boy. He's got a lot of energy. We've talked to his owner. She's a really, really wonderful person. The whole family's great. But in particular, they're very aware of his needs, and we've talked about even doing some hydrotherapy with him because, as many of you have seen, there's kind of probably a little bit of some structural issues going on there. So we want to give him an outlet to get his exercise out without compromising any of his joints or issues. So we're going to try to get his exercise through using the pool and things like that. Let's see here. Thank you, Christina, for doing such a great job moderating. I really appreciate it. It allows me to really focus on the questions. Will I breed Blondie? I've spoken about this. Possibly. Possibly. You know, we may not. Depends on her health scores. She's not typey. She's not the kind of dog I would normally breed, but she does have a good temperament for the average owner, and I really like that about her. She's like
she'd be good with the family.
Yeah, she'd be good for like an entry-level Corso people, which I kind of like. Thank you, Tyrone. I appreciate it. What breeder did Rasta come from? I don't know, and even if I did, I couldn't speak to that just because I just mentioned he had an issue, so I don't want to. You know.
Send hate over there.
Yeah. My most favorite breed right now is the Cane Corso for sure. I'm breeding my most favorite breed.
Do you want to say hi to the puppy?
Yeah, you may give my baby. This is my baby. Hello.
That's Chinchilla.
This is not Chinchilla.
Yeah, I thought that was no. I guess Chinchilla.
Look at his face, y'all. Look at that face.
Oh, you can see
This is what heaven's like, y'all. Oh, I love him so much. I love him so much. So much. Okay, take him. All right, sorry, you guys. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. Dominant dog when he grows up. You just gotta work with them early on. You don't want to ever have to worry about a dog when they're older. You really want to try to get it taken care of before it gets to that point. Application response time. Sometimes I don't respond. If I don't approve of an application, I won't respond. Or if there's information missed, like some people don't, they'll, like if I put, do you have any, or do you rent your own? They always put no. Yeah, I can't tell you how many people just put no.
It's like,
you know, you gotta answer the question. The thing is that I get so many applications
He's crazy.
that I have to kind of weed through them pretty quickly, and so, you know, that's one of the things, unfortunately.
We usually print them out. I don't know where they are.
I have seen white Cane Corsos before. I've also seen straw. It is one of those things where, even though it's frowned upon, I do recognize that it is a traditional color, so I personally don't have a problem with it. I'm not really breeding for show, so, you know. Jenny Boots, thank you very much. I live in North Carolina. What breeder do you recommend for Cane Corso? By the way, best of luck with Preacher. And show he's my favorite. So I would have to say that in North Carolina, I can't remember if Samantha is in North Carolina or South Carolina. I get the Carolinas confused. I feel like she's in South Carolina, though.
But they're not that far apart, are they?
But Hawk Ridge Cane Corso is probably going to be my first choice. Just because I know her so well, I know how the pups are going to be raised, and like you're going to be really hard pressed to find anybody that's going to put forth the kind of time and effort into her pups that she is. But other than that, you know, there's definitely Vicky over at Cape Fear Cane Corso. Her pups are not raised inside, so you really kind of do need to be more experienced with hers because they don't really have the start that ours do. That's not to say that you can't get a great one. I would just, if you do contact her, make sure that she understands that if you don't have experience, that you need a dog based off temperament and to choose you a sweet one, and she can do that. Let's see here. Should I just assume I'm not approved? Not necessarily. I always tell people to give me a call. If you've submitted an application, you really think you should have been approved, you know, give me a call, follow up that way. It's the best way to get in touch with me. You know, most of the people that have gotten their applications through have given me a call. Not all, but most have given me a call. In the Northwest, I don't know. I've only bought dogs from there one time, and it wasn't a breeder. So she's in North Carolina? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Or I didn't think that. I thought South Carolina. What bloodlines are my Corsos? I couldn't even begin to tell you them all. They have bloodlines all over the place. Let's see here. How much can you separate how much you love them and be strict? I had a golden retriever and he was spoiled rotten. Couldn't be stern with him. I'd love to volunteer to shelters, but I'd be crying all day. Well, it's good that you know that. You know, it's very important to have your emotions in check if you want to be able to have a trained dog. I always tell people, if you're really not a trainer and you just want something to love on, you know, get a small dog, you know, maybe a Frenchie, something like that. You know, even if they're spoiled, they really can't do much harm. So it's, you know, it's the best idea.
Thank you, Kathy Mullins, or however you say that.
Mullins. Yes, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, where is Preacher? You never let him down.
And Fabio, I don't know.
Let's see here. How cheap is land in your area? Not too cheap. We actually got a really special spot in a place that's mostly owned by cattle breeders. Thank you, Fabio. I probably pronounced that wrong now. Hey, quiet down. Preacher, come here. Come say hi.
Don't knock anything over.
Right here.
Don't knock anything.
Right here, sit down. Sit. Preacher.
Hey, shh. Quiet down.
Quiet. Preacher, sit.
Blondie, no, Blondie, go lay down.
He's not paying attention. Preacher,
Blondie,
sit. Now. Sit down right now. Put your butt on the ground.
Preacher, come on.
You're making me look like a dummy. Hey, sit down. Now. Preacher, sit.
Knocking into it, sorry.
Now. How dare you? Give me your face. How dare you? How dare you? Making me look bad. Making me look like you don't know how to sit.
Yeah.
I'm too easy on you. I'm too easy on you.
Cashmere, quiet down.
No, Cashmere. Are you going to be a good dog? Alright, sorry. Yeah, see, he's making me look bad, y'all. I'm too easy on him. I love him too much. He likes it when I mess with his nose.
I need help. I have a smart dog.
Alright. Let's see here. Yeah, I love you. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy.
The dog is taken from
let's see here. Let's see. Yes, it is normal for a dog to like raw, but throw it back up at first. Yes, it is. They have to develop the enzymes to eat it. So you really want to do a little bit. You don't want to do too much at once.
Who's outside, Velocity? I guess so.
Let's see here.
Hey, Preacher. Sit down, Bubba.
Let's see here. Thank you, Jessica. Exactly. Go get Preacher. Let's see here.
He doesn't want Cashmere, quiet down.
How much does Preacher weigh? He's about 140 pounds, I believe. 130, 140 pounds. They can get pretty big. It just depends. Are Italian or American Corsos better? Neither one. You just got to choose a good dog. I don't go off bloodlines. All my dogs are choosed off of the. I look at the dogs. And I look at the dogs in the lines, and then I make a decision based upon that. I'd never let a pedigree make my decision because it's just not worth it. The dog in front of you is what counts. And if the dog in front of you doesn't look good, it doesn't matter what the pedigree says. Might as well not mess with it. Let's see here. What organ meats have taurine? Heart has the most. You definitely want to feed lots of heart if you want. Not lots, but you know, it's good to do. Probably treat it like a vitamin. That's what I do.
I thought somebody said that at the same time you said that. They said heart meat has the most taurine.
Yeah. So look at this. Preacher shedding. I want to show you guys this.
Here, let me see if I can move this.
Yeah, this is what happens. No, don't. This is what happens when they shed, which sucks, is he's literally fixing to go show, and he's blowing his coat right now. And it's just coming out.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
And I don't know if you can see that, but it's just coming out.
Like that. That's all.
And that's what they do. That's what they do. It just comes out all at once. It's the grossest thing.
He doesn't like it either.
No, yeah. Preacher, go away. You're gross.
Come here.
Go.
You need a bath.
Yeah, he has like the worst coat he's ever going to have right now. He's got a lot of dandruff. All because that's what happens when he blows his coat, that's what happens. They get dandruff. They lose all their hair. Sometimes they get little bumps. Just from the agitation of it, look, she's like looking at the hair.
She's like, what's that? What dog is that?
What's all that black stuff?
Nope, and Velocity's screaming.
Okay, let's see here. Let me see. How would No, I would not get a Cane Corso as a first dog. Not any of these dogs that I have right here. You know, if we bred Blondie and I bred her to a really super mellow, sweet male, I might consider that breeding, but not any of my current dogs. Let's see. Yeah, how do you treat it? So what I do with my dogs when they do this, when they're blowing their coat, is I go out and I get a good shampoo.
Hey, Jillers.
I get it from the Tractor Supply. And, yeah, what's his name? Rasta's over there going crazy because we're not paying attention to him. So I get a really good shampoo. Usually something that's nice is like an antibacterial, just something like, just something to help out like that. You give them a good scrub. You leave it on for 10 minutes, wash it off. And then what I do is I will take a, I'll do the conditioner, and then I'll take like a shedding comb, and I'll give them, Creature wants out, and I'll give them a good, you know, brush down with that. And so then what I'll do is I'll take some coconut oil, and I'll get it nice and wet, you know, because you know it's firm, and then I'll melt it up really good, and I'll work it into their coat really well. And then use a towel to kind of give them a good dry, and so that it doesn't get coconut oil everywhere. And I usually have to do that once every time they blow their coat, and they're good to go. So, will I ever breed Seneca to Preacher? Yes, that is a high likelihood. Let's see. How do I get your 14-week-old Mastiff mix to not whine and bark when she's corrected, denied for something, waiting for food?
I think she's attitude or whatever.
Yeah, usually, so he does that. That's like back talk. And what I do with him is I just, like Cashmere right here, so watch, like, psh, no, quiet down. Go lay down.
That face.
Cashmere, go lay down now.
She's like, I don't want to.
So she went and laid down. So that's what I do. I just correct it. I've actually got video of me correcting velocity. Go and look at my training videos where it says training a high energy dog. The very initial ones with velocity. You'll get to see how far she's come. When I first got her, she was just, we called her the canary. She would just cry, very vocal, cry, a chirping, crying dog. And now she doesn't do it anymore, or very rarely does it, but yeah, she used to do it all the time. Let's see here. How do you get hip dysplasia before they get old? So hip dysplasia comes in different forms. There's genetic hip dysplasia.
Sorry,
hold on. So there's genetic hip dysplasia, which is where the dog has hip bones that are just not formed properly, and you'll see that from a very young age. The other form of it is where maybe you have a puppy that had, you know, maybe the formation of the hips was good, but there's too much laxity in the joint, and so the hips are just way too loose, and they'll kind of come out of socket. So you have that, and then you have, thank you, Carla, very much. Sorry, you guys. Here's our dirty house.
I'm gonna go put it back on.
Not sure why our internet is so bad, but
Alex
it is
might
apparently.
be on his phone upstairs or something. I don't know. Look, and Preacher wants inside now.
Okay. All right. So we'll just keep connecting when it does that. No, watch out, Preacher.
Everybody, get back now. Come.
You got a dirty face.
Everybody, come on. Let's go upstairs. Come on. Sorry, guys.
All right. Go now. Okay. So. All right. Like I said, we'll just keep pushing it back. Yes, I will breed Velocity. She actually looks to be like she's going into heat relatively soon, so that's pretty awesome. We won't be breeding her this time though, so keep that in mind. Hey, shh, Preacher, leave him alone. Now, Preacher, stop distracting him. Velocity, no playing. Everybody's trying to cause problems. Go lay down. Thank you very much, Angel. All right, so
I think they're on
well, it's fine. It seems better right now. It's actually like got way better quality, so I don't know.
I was gonna say it's like, I don't know, that's what Alex said.
Okay, so
Go back, Preacher, go away.
how do you get your dog to not scratch the door? You want to get a nanny cam that you can talk through. Put it somewhere the dog can't see it. Whenever they get up and they start messing with stuff, you need to let them know they're doing something wrong. and then tell them to go lay in their spot. Who will I breed Velocity to? I'm not sure yet.
Preacher, stop.
Preacher, leave him alone. Preacher's trying to get on to Rasta. Let's see here. Will I be spaying Blondie? Not if I decide to breed her. It just depends. We'll see what kind of pup she produces. What is a backyard breeder? A backyard breeder is a term used to describe a breeder that is low in...
I got it.
Yeah. Tennessee, once again, trying to knock down the webcam.
Preacher, go again. Don't do that right there.
So,
go.
It's a term that is supposed to be able to identify a breeder that is a bad breeder. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. A lot of times, bad breeders come in all shapes and sizes. They can... Can you push it back where, I don't know what you did, but you made it, can you put it back where it was?
Okay.
Where it's showing more over here?
Yeah, I know, it is showing more over there, yeah.
No, it isn't. It's showing this, which is nasty.
No, it is. I literally saw that it was over there, so I moved it back over there.
Oh, you're right. My bad. It is. That's how much of a lag there is. Yeah. Okay, all right. Let me see here. Okay. How to prevent a dog from eating other dogs' poop. You just have to make sure that you watch them. And it's when they're out there with it, you correct them as soon as they try to do it. I will, like, if I see a dog trying to do it, I will, like, Blondie, I think, did it once. Blondie, psh, no, that's a bad dog. That's bad.
She's going to go into submission.
So she's over here trying to eat my tripod. But that's what I would do. Same thing. So there you go. I have a video on potty training, so you can feel free to watch that one. Let's see here.
Hello?
Why are some breeds shorter than others? That's just genetics. Thank you, Shay. How to train a 13-year-old stubborn Tibetan Spaniel to be home alone. That's the same thing I would do as the video, but at that age, 13 years old, I don't know, man. That's a pretty old dog.
We don't speak Spanish.
Let's see. Yes, Jessica did bring me a prize. She brought me my first.
Let me bring that.
Yes, bring it. She is my.
Let me get a knife. Sorry.
No.
Well, I mean, we want to. Okay.
She gave me my first Breyer horse. Yay! That I didn't buy myself. I mean, I have that one for my family, but since I've decided, she got me this, which is super awesome. If you know who Secretariat is, you know that he's a legend among horses. Absolutely amazing. So I couldn't be happier. Very exciting. So thank you so much, Jessica.
Here, let me grab that.
You want to separate them a little bit? Okay. I would actually take him up and see if Alex is willing to watch him.
I doubt it. He's trying to go to sleep.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's like not late.
I need to get on to Rasta to make him stop throwing an absolute tantrum over there.
You better put it before I put a blanket over your cage.
He's having a riot in his kennel because I'm not paying attention to him. All right, so let's see here. Yes, it is a beautiful horse. Thank you. I'm very excited. Let's see here. Is it possible to train without the use of treats? Yes, I rarely ever use treats. The only time I use them is to teach a behavior that or to incentivize a behavior that I can't readily do without some type of incentive. Let's see here. So.
But preacher, stop it. Move. Now.
He's like leaning up against it.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do you get your dog out of pack mode to a one-dog family?
There we go.
A dog will go back. Whatever they're in is what they'll be. So if a dog is
$50.
Yeah, if a dog is in a pack, thank you very much, Dawn. I appreciate it. That helps the channel a lot. If a dog is in a pack, they'll act more like a pack. If they're not, then they won't. It just really depends. Velocity.
Get over here, Wyatt.
Yeah, she needs to be. Bring her up here. Velocity, come here. Now.
Yeah.
Come here. She's over there messing with everyone. Come here.
She's been a troublemaker today.
Right here. Come here. Right here. Right here. Now lay down. Shh. Get over here. Stay. Shh. Stay. No, you quit. She's literally been over on a riot, messing with everybody, causing problems. Let's see here. Let's see. Somebody asked, how do I send money? I don't know. I've never done this before as far as this thing. The people that know, or the people that are donating, most of them actually told me how to do it. I do have a Patreon now, so you can look that up. I actually got my first donation recently, actually, which was really cool. So I appreciate that very much. And I'm looking for ways to kind of incorporate that and give more to you guys. I know that I do a lot, but I would like to be able to do more. So we'll see. Let's see. I do want to make merchandise. With my job, working full time, it's hard to find the time to take on new things like that. And even though people have given me the information, sometimes it's hard for me to just reach out and make that contact. So I really want to, and I will in time. It's just finding the time to do that. So that's the big deal there. Let's see here. Love your dogs. Do you feel like Velocity would benefit from a sport or job? Probably. It would definitely, she'd be good for it. She definitely has the energy for it. But that's not to say that she can't be a pet. She just requires structure. So that's why I've got her down beside me. And as you can tell, everything's gotten a whole lot quieter since she's not around riling everybody up. You don't hear everybody clanking around and all that stuff. It's because her energy is going crazy.
Tennessee's going to sleep.
Thank you so much, Stesley. Have I seen Corso's hunting wild boar? I have not seen it personally, but I do know that the dogs were used for that, and I do know that they're good at it. But I just wouldn't. I have no need for it, and it's a very. No, back over here, right back over here. Come on, sit down. Sit. Velocity. Sit. Shh. Good girl. Down, all the way. All the way down. Good girl. That's a good girl. You stay. Stay. So anyway, the dogs can get hurt and even killed hunting wild boar. The tusks can really mess with them. So personally, I choose not to hunt my dogs. Let's see here. How early do Cane Corsos usually have their heat cycle? Now, Cane Corsos are a little bit different than most breeds. Most breeds, or at least smaller breeds, go into heat the first time around 6 months old. Cane Corsos don't. They usually go into heat anywhere between 9 months to a year old. Let's see here. My favorite breed other than the Cane Corso, I'll probably always have a big soft spot for pit bulls. I've always loved them a lot. And Rottweilers. I love Rottweilers, but the traditional older Rottweiler, not those weird snubby nose things they've got going on now. I don't know. I have a link to, I'll put up a link to the Patreon tomorrow. I don't know it offhand. Let's see here.
Probably under like Sons of Tempo Cane Corso or something.
How would I train a solid recall? I do it when they're puppies. I start early on. And I do it by, like, as you saw earlier in the live stream where Tennessee was trying to run off and I called her, and when she came to me, I do this really excited, like, love and hug and kisses, and, like, you want to make coming to you a really positive and joyous thing. The same thing as most people do using a treat. You can use a treat, but what you don't ever want to do is get into the habit of constantly rewarding your dog to do something, because then it becomes bribery. And then they stop listening unless you have a treat, and you don't want that. What's the best dog collar? I prefer the choke collar that I use. Unlike most people, I only use the collar up here at the very top of the head while I'm training. Once they learn to heel, the reward is that I relax the collar and I just let it sit still and hang out. So
they're confusing to figure out. I mean, they were for me at first.
Yeah, and people talk about, like, the way you should have it. You should make it in a P, this and that. Some people like them different ways. Like, some people like it to where it locks. Some people don't. So it just depends. When I'm training, I like it where it doesn't lock. But if I'm walking multiple dogs and I don't want to have to constantly worry about my leash placement coming down, I'll actually use it on the locking side. Let's see here. How much does it cost to feed my dogs per week? You don't want to know.
Dude, we were trying to figure out the math for that, and that was just, it was...
You don't want to know.
No.
It's too much. I spend a lot more than is necessary. I
4
will
boxes
say that.
goes by in less than like a week. Or no, that's not true. In at least like 2 weeks.
I do a lot of raw feeding and a lot of organ meats and stuff, so I am not a good example of a cost-efficient breeding operation. Get back right here. No, right here.
I'll just sit here.
Right here. Back over here. Back over here. All the way. Come on.
He's like, hey, man.
Turn it around. Come on. All the way. Good girl. Sit.
Good girl.
You stay. You stay. All right. Oh, thank you very, very much. Who, Ariana? Sorry. I'm horrible with names. Love your channel. I was wondering how you feel about gastropexy to prevent bloat. So that's usually what we call like tacking the stomach. This breed isn't prone to it. I personally don't see any need to do it. If you had a Great Dane, I would say absolutely do it because like over 50% of them die from it. But this breed isn't really prone to bloat. And if you feed raw, that's a benefit of raw, is that I've seen vets say that, vets that were pro-raw say that they stopped seeing bloat after the dogs were eating raw. Don't you try to get up, girl. I see you. Let's see here. How do you train your dog without becoming dependent upon treats? Don't use them in the first place. That's what I do. Very rarely do I ever use them. So, shalom. I appreciate it very much. Let's see. How do you keep the attention of a stubborn dog or a dog that doesn't have very good attention span? Kind of like she's like that. So you see that I correct her when she tries to take off. You know, I kind of let the pressure off as soon as she's, you know, doing what I ask her to do. So that's what I do. That other video I did of training Rasta is a great video of the persistence that sometimes is needed for very stubborn dogs. Any advice for someone who wants to get into breeding? I would make sure that you have the skills for breeding. You know, it's not something that comes easily to everybody. You know, it's just not. It's one of those things where it's like a lot of people may want to be an artist, but sometimes that's maybe not your calling. So it just depends. If, like I said, I would first want to make sure that you can identify good structure before I would even try to get into breeding. Because if you can't identify good structure, the odds of you being able to get good dogs is probably not good, or even maintain your lines.
So we asked the question.
So thank you very much, Stesley. Temperament differences between canes and pressas. So from what I understand, now I don't have any pressas, but in my experience, from what I've spoken to with people about the different breeds, the pressas, from what I understand, are a bit more hot, more like a pit bull in the sense that they've been used for fighting more so or more recently than the Cane Corso has. So they can be harder to keep together, and just I don't think have generally had the same type of dedicated breeding for temperament that the Cane Corso has. So if I wanted a dog, and also I will say I've seen a lot more health problems in the pressa because they've been bred for looks, especially the width of the chest. So a lot of times you'll see bad elbows on them. So there's, you know, a couple things that can happen, but I personally wasn't really attracted to that breed. Let's see here. Leaning towards Great Danes, but watching this breed. Yeah, I've had Great Danes. They can be great dogs.
We'll maybe get a bloody nose though.
Yeah, they, I mean, they're a lot to handle. You want to get them, they're goofy, real goofy, playful dogs.
Like Blondie.
Yeah, like Blondie. Think Blondie, yeah. You know, they can be, you know, they do know how big they are, so watch out for them trying to use their size against you. But as long as they don't think that they can mess you around, you know, they act kind of like horses. They'll even rear up like a horse,
like Blondie.
which is funny. But, you know, just, you know, stay on top of them. Early training, train early, train hard. You'll be fine. Your dog should be obedient by 6 months of age. If you don't have obedience by 6 months of age, buddy, you need to be out there getting the work done. You know, be out there 15 minutes a day, get it done, get it right, so that by the time that dog is big enough to cause you a problem, that you've got them figured out. So let's see here. Yes, Savannah is very. I love it.
What is it?
They said you're very knowledgeable, and yes, you are. Let me see. Would you leave your full-time job to make YouTube breeding training your full-time job?
What if your boss is watching?
What if my boss is watching? Well, it helps that my boss is my sister. I work for my family's company. So this is the thing, is I don't know. There is something to say for doing what your calling is. However, there's also a thing of like not jumping onto something without recognizing whether or not it's something that is going to last or not. So, you know, I don't know. Ideally, would I like to be able to quit and just focus on this? Absolutely, because this gives me joy and meaning in a way that my current job doesn't. It's not that I don't love my job, but this is something that really speaks to the heart of who I am, whereas my job speaks to things that I find important. So a lot of people don't know this, but I was raised in foster care. So my mom was a pretty bad drug addict. So at the age of 7, she gave me away to foster care. And I lived in foster care, various different foster homes, had a really bad experience. So I work in the foster care industry now. And what I do, I feel adds value to those children's lives. And it matters to me. But it doesn't, you know, the dogs are something that have always been a part of me ever since I was a little child. So I've never quite known which one of those I needed to dedicate myself to. And even then, maybe it's not that I completely walk away from foster kids. Maybe it's just that I help in a different way. But the administrative side of things, which is what I do now, can be kind of monotonous. And sometimes it doesn't speak well to my abilities as far as, you know, it can be tedious, is the right word, I think. You're welcome, Tamarin. Let's see here. I'm a Corso owner raised in foster care in Florida. Awesome, Raymond. I'm glad to see you're out there doing it right, man. You're living your life. A lot of foster kids have a real hard life, and they don't get to where they can even have a dog like that. So, you know, you're doing good. Hey, you better put your butt back down right now. Lay down. All the way back down. Shh, no, don't suck up to me. Lay down now.
Oh, I love you, Blondie.
All the way down. No, Blondie. I don't want your kisses. All the way down.
Kisses.
Good girl. Good girl. All right, let's see here. I hope you're writing a book as well. No, I'm not writing a book yet.
You wanted to before.
I did think about writing a book. I've had a really crazy life. Most people would never believe all the stuff I've done. So, let's see here. Blanket pillow.
What?
Always the cool side of the pillow, buddy.
What?
He asked for a shout out. When is your next litter? Spring of 2019. Let's see here. No, Alex is not moving with us. We did not end up getting back together. We're going to still remain friends. But
he'll be staying here.
He's going to stay here at this place.
That was his choice, not like
that was
we
his
did
choice.
not like
yeah,
kick
we
him
did
out
not,
or anything.
Yeah, we did not tell him he couldn't come. It was totally his choice. Wouldn't do that. Let's see here. I like Alex too. He's a good guy. He's a very good guy. Just not,
not
for
your
our
kind of
relationship. Thank you. Watch me try. I appreciate that. 3-year-old male rescue acts like a jerk during dog intros. Currently do slow intros over several days, but any advice? So what I do with my dogs when they kind of are being a jerk is I will make them go in submissive posture. If they're super kind of trying to be aggressive or whatever, I just make them go to submissive posture. That way it forces them to have to face their own worst fear, which is that a lot of times dogs that get aggressive like that, it's because they're afraid of any possible interaction. So if you negate that by already making them go to a submissive posture, and forcing them to have to be vulnerable in that situation, then, you know, most of the time that will fix the issue. If not, you may need to use a muzzle to kind of get him to be around them without being able to use his mouth, which will force him to have to think of other ways of kind of introducing himself.
Somebody asked me if I wanted to follow in your footsteps.
Does she want to follow my footsteps?
Well, we're thinking of, I'm only 13, so
yeah,
you know,
she's thinking about it. I'm trying to entice her with puppies.
I don't know what I want
sometimes. I really hope she does. It would mean the world to me, but you know, we'll see. Thank you, Snook from Laredo, Texas. That's awesome. Representing Texas. Let's see. Opinion on old line giant, GSD, so German Shepherd dogs. You know, I've had a German Shepherd. Personally, I'm not too fond on the high energy, but as far as working ability, there's some really great German Shepherds out there. Thank you very much, Adam. I appreciate that. I buy my collars from just the pet store. I literally walk in, buy it, and take them out.
Of course we pay for, yeah.
Let's see here. I dread new dogs coming near me when I'm with my Corso. To no avail, he doesn't want any friends. So if you're really, no.
What are you watching me for, huh?
No. Shh. No, do not hum. You being a crybaby? You look like you got bit in the eye. Did you get bit in the eyeball? You get beat up? Somebody got you this time?
Somebody told me to be a vet. I haven't looked into being a vet. I mean...
You can go. And no starting problems.
I don't know much about
No more starting fights.
that way with dogs.
Not real fights, but you know what I mean. Let's see here. Are Corsos and Pit Bulls similar? Not really. Not really.
No. They're high. The Pit Bulls are high energy interior, like, and the Cane Corsos, they're more calm, and they're like, Mastiffs. Well, they are Mastiffs. They're Italian Mastiffs.
And they're, in my experience, they're not always dog aggressive. I've heard of some, but mine aren't. They weren't near as hard to train to not be either. Let's see here.
Wow, Germany? That's a place.
I know, right? Thank you for being here from Germany. That's super awesome. Thoughts of this breed living on a 2,000 head cattle ranch. So that's their history, man. That's what they're for. That's what they're bred for, working the cattle out there. So they would love that.
Hello.
How can I train your 16? How do you train your 16th about food aggression for the Rottweiler? What I do with mine is, I see you. Yes, is when they get food aggressive with me. Is that, I mean, I start from a very young age. So if they growl at me over food, then I will kind of shove them off their food until, I see you, until they stop growling at me. You can also take the food and give it to them one piece at a time so that they understand that you're the one doing it.
Look at that face.
I know. Doing good obedience is a big part of it. So,
229.
You know, but you want to make sure that they understand that it's yours. Thank you very much, Davida. Greetings from the Netherlands. Thank you very much. Hello here from Texas, Austin, Texas. Let's see here.
Separation anxiety.
See here. If a stubborn lab can be a service dog, I bet a Corso can too. Yeah. I mean, if you get the right temperament, you can absolutely have a Corso as a service dog. It just takes having the right temperament. You know, yeah. I use Preacher. Everyone knows I've got bad knees. And so when I'm going on, sometimes when I go on a vacation, I know I'm going to be walking a lot or whatever, I will actually take him because I can use him as a physical support dog. On this litter, yes, all the pups are spoken for, but not on our next litter.
Savannah, do you enjoy school?
Sorry, it looks like I'm missing people's questions, but unfortunately they're flying in, so there's only so much I can do. Thank you. Yes, but Velocity she's gorgeous. She's my girl. As you guys can tell, she's really, I mean, those that have been watching for a long time, she's come a long way.
No, I don't enjoy homeschool, by the way.
She hates it. She hates it. She'd rather be out there getting into trouble with all those other hooligan children.
I'll go to a public school whenever we move and we're in a better district.
Yeah, when we're in a better district and I don't have to worry about all the kids that she's around, then yeah, she'll go back to public school. But let me tell you something. We had a horrible experience and we couldn't transfer her out of it. And I was like, you know what?
I was a bad child.
I was like, nope, not happening. Let me tell you something. You can raise your kid as good as you want to, but all it takes is one kid that wasn't raised right to come and make friends with your kid to cause problems. That's all I can say.
Do you recommend introducing a new
Jenny Boots, do you recommend introducing my new Cane Corso pup to my neighbor's teacup Chihuahua? They visit a lot, but I worry how small she is. You can introduce them, but I would just make sure to keep the energy level down. You know, with Preacher, he knows I have the term play nice or be gentle, and he knows to kind of chill out. And
he gets really excited.
Because if they get too excited, you don't want them running around. You don't want them, you know, you want to make sure that you really limit that energy level. It might make the other person feel uncomfortable, like, you know, why are you being so hard on him, or just let him play. But you're always going to have to be the person that says, no, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to watch this. Like, I need to train the dog.
Somebody said they were in foster care. The one with the
let's see. Do you train Cane Corsos, or will you take other big dogs? And do you only train dogs that live in Texas?
No.
You know, for the most part, I'm not. I will take dogs for training, but I'm not. You know, like, I'm not your typical dog trainer. That's not what I do for a living. When I take a dog for training, it's because the dog has a disruption in their relationship with people, right? I'm able to get dogs kind of like, I don't know if you ever noticed, but like Cesar Milan was really good at that. When Cesar Milan got called, he didn't get called for simple obedience tree. That's not what you called him for. You called him when your dog was acting a fool.
Like trying to bite you.
It's like nanny 911, right? That's what I do. I'm able to step in when a dog is getting out of control, bring them back to a point that they can be worked with again. So I'm, you know, that's what I do. It's not based on breed or anything. It's strictly based on the relationship between the person and the dog. I just want to prevent dogs from being put down and from being rehomed because the people can't handle them anymore.
Midnight, come.
Can I tell Midnight that you said hi? Absolutely. Shalom. Here is Midnight.
Oh,
Midnight
woman.
Come here. Come say hi right here. Come here. Hey, baby girl.
Oh,
she's got a wiggle worm butt. Watch out now.
Wiggle worm butt.
Wiggle worm butt. Watch out.
Careful.
Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
Crazy babies.
Oh, Preacher
upset.
did not want to say hi to Midnight.
He's upset at his daughter.
Let's see here. Went from foster care to having my own business and riding my Harley. That's awesome, Christina. Wow, and you're my mod. Who knew? That's so awesome. Small world, y'all. Small world.
Oh God, no! What are they doing? What are they recording?
You guys watch out. Go lay down. See, that's so awesome. Birds of a feather flock together, y'all. I'm so glad. That makes me very happy.
Oh my gosh, Midnight!
Midnight, come here.
Oh, Midnight!
Seriously, stop. No, sit down now.
Oh.
Sit down.
Let me
now.
fix this, you guys.
Stop.
Let's see. Sorry about that. Midnight woman.
Stop. That's enough. No, that was enough.
Let's fix this. She knocked it over, but it's a bit tilted. I don't know how to fix it without like clicking buttons by accident or something. What?
No, just try to fix it.
Okay. Let me, because I want to lift it up a bit. Like,
well, then push them closer together. These. The bottom? No.
Okay.
Sit down, because you were bad.
All right. Sorry about that. It's still a bit.
It's still, yeah, you're like tilting it even more. Here, let me see.
Okay. We're about to go over to the. Oh, what are they best play? Oh, these animals. Hey.
All right, Savannah, try this.
Okay, 1 second. That's stuff over here. Go get out of the kitchen.
Try that.
Say hi to Mom.
Yeah, I know, right? Say hi to my face. All right, so since I've been to Canada here, say this much honestly, you're doing such a great job with everything. Seriously, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We love our fans from everywhere. How do you feed them? Sorry if it's already been asked. I'll be honest with you. We feed in the worst way, the most unsafe way possible, which I do not recommend, which is we have a bag of chicken out and we just hand chicken off to the individual dogs. I highly recommend that you feed your dogs in a bowl separately where they each have their own spot to eat. It's just the best way to do it. Latest on my rabbit idea. Thank you very much, Stesley.
We've bred rabbits before.
I have bred rabbits before. I did pretty good at it. And I probably will again. It's because it's just me and Savannah. It's going to be It's harder for me. I do a lot. I'm a hard worker. I've done a lot in my life, but sometimes things can be a little overwhelming initially. And so it can take me a little while to overcome the initial fear of doing something to actually get on to doing it. So currently I'm a little daunted by everything that needs to be done at the property. We have a lot of cactus, we have a lot of trees that need clearing, and it's just me. So having the ability to do all that is very scary to me. So I don't know. There's a lot to do, and I'm gonna do it, but it's just gonna take time.
We'll have help. We'll have like the family's help or something. Like, we'll have all the men.
Yeah, right. We'll have all the men gonna come help. No. So the thing is when I say my family, when I was around 23, 24, I got back in touch with some foster parents that I had. My very first foster home that I had. They really loved me a lot and were very good to me. And I got back in touch with them, and they did everything they could to help me in my life and to help make things better and to repair a lot of the mistakes and the mess that I had made with my life at the time. So when I talk about my family, that's usually who I'm talking about. So, clarification.
Round up some volunteer kids to
let's see here. Do I ever do meet and greets? I definitely want to do meet and greets. I haven't done any yet, but I would love to. Thank you, Tam. You're amazing. My family and I want to kind of Corso because he was wondering if you have any experience shipping pups internationally, as we would love pups you've bred, and we live in New Zealand. I have shipped a puppy to Canada, but it didn't go right to Canada. It went to, they had it shipped to New York. As far as I know, all I would need to do is keep the puppy longer, if I'm not mistaken, because a lot of people have age requirements. And so we would just need to work on what that would be, how I would do that. Currently where I'm at right now, I would need to have everything set up better to be able to do that. It is something I'm willing to do. It's even, keeping dogs a little bit older is something I've even considered doing for other people. Like I'd probably charge more because I'd have to keep the dog longer and I'd have to train the dog more. But ultimately, I don't mind the idea of holding on to pups longer and selling already trained dogs, or kind of roughly trained dogs, kind of like the way you can get what's called a green broke horse, which is they basically did the fundamentals and you can build upon that. So we could do something like that. We'll just see. But it's not that I'm opposed to it. I just need to learn more about it. Question from Singapore: how do you train your dogs not to take or chew on anything in your absence when you leave home? I use a nanny cam. I have a security system, and so when the dogs get up, it notifies me, and I will verbally tell them through the camera to go and lay down at their spot. And so that's how I handle that. Let's see here. Are you looking for specific coat color for your next stud pups, or are you just looking for size and structure? Just looking for size and structure. Yeah,
it's like one of the cameras.
Yeah, here's one of our cameras right here. This is one of our exterior ones.
It's kind of dirty because it's inside.
We use an Arlo. And they are inside and outside.
Speaker.
So.
Speaker.
Let's see here. How do you... What? Hawk Ridge sent something? I didn't see her. How did I miss you, Samantha? There you are. If your dog is afraid of having nails trimmed, try giving CBD to calm your dog. Yep, that's a great idea. Queen to the King. My girl is not the best with other dogs, especially in her yard and around her family, but per the breeders, she has to be bred. How do I do this? Well, anytime I see somebody say my girl, or anytime I hear somebody say my dog doesn't like this or my dog doesn't like that, it tells me that there's a dysfunction in the relationship. It's kind of like imagine a child saying, or a parent saying about their toddler, my kid doesn't like to go to bed at their bedtime, right? Like, it's not about what they want, it's about what they should be doing. So I don't allow my dogs to be aggressive or get aggressive because they're not allowed to.
I'm not allowed to get an attitude.
So that's an important thing. Now, if you're wanting to breed her, I don't know, that's its own issue. Let's see here. Are there 2 different kinds of Corso? Gosh, I mean, there's way more than 2. Let's see. Savannah, where are you? She's behind the camera so that Yeah, so that if it shuts off, she knows and she can reconnect it again. Although it looks like we got a lot better connection now.
Yeah. I don't want to go on camera right now because I don't want.
Let's see. Can you have dog pack with only one gender, like all male? Yeah, definitely. In fact, sometimes that's a much easier way of... Velocity, stop. A lot of times that's a much easier way to do it because you don't have the issues between genders.
Hey.
Let's see here. Would you recommend first-time owners that grew up around big dogs get one as their first dog or work their way up to them? Is it wise to have a Corso in an apartment? It doesn't matter if you have a Corso in an apartment. Watch them. I don't want them horseplaying right now. You guys, Blondie, stop. Shh, Blondie, what'd I say? Quit. Both of you need to lay down. Midnight, you need to lay down. Both of you. That's right. I'm talking to both of you. You both need to go lay down. You. And you. Don't start trouble. No, I don't want your kisses. Don't start trouble.
I would say I could have a Cane Corso as an adult, even though I only grew up.
No, I'm not a Scorpio. I'm a Pisces, or no, you're a Taurus.
I'm a Taurus.
Yes, I've had 3 separate occasions where Preacher stepped in and protected me. It was pretty awesome. How would you breed if it were to happen? Preacher and Echo. And would you drive? Yes, I have every intention of driving up there and doing a live breeding like that. Thank you, Freya. I appreciate it. Much love from North Carolina. Thank you, Stardust.
Swanee says hi.
Do small dog packs function the same as big dog packs? No, they do not. No, they do not. In fact, Samantha could tell you about that. She had, hey, no jealousy. Quit it. She had her 2 dogs, Echo and Bam Bam, and now that she's got those puppies that she kept, she's already noticed the dynamics in her pack change. And that's what happens. The more dogs you have, the more pack-like they become, which is really just a necessity. It's the way that they communicate. It's just the way it is. When you have more animals, there's more of a need of communication. Same thing with people. If you only had 2 friends, then you'd be fine, right? No, Midnight, what I tell you, quit being a bad influence. Stop trying to cause fights. Mwah. But you're a bad dog, go away. Anyway, yeah, the more animals you have, the more need for communication and structure, and the more pack-like they will become. Get out of my stuff, Midnight. Let's see here. Any tips to stop your dog when he's leash pulling? Yes, collar placement. And then taking them out and training them in a field, not on a walk, to learn to walk and turn and stop and, all that good stuff. You really want to make sure that you don't just go on a walk, because then if you're going in a straight line, they think they know where they're going. Sometimes they do, and they're going to pull. Let's see here. Would you recommend a Cane Corso for someone who's in a wheelchair on a Bel Air but knows... Most definitely, especially if you could get one that's already had some prior training put in. Absolutely, I would.
They're really good to help people.
And I'm really glad you watched that documentary. Everybody, watch Living with Wolves and watch it again.
I haven't seen it.
Yes, you have.
I have?
Yeah.
Oh.
You probably just forgotten about it. I watch it all the time. It's required watching to me for anyone. If you really want to understand dogs, watch Living with Wolves. Has Mama Cashmere lost weight? No, in fact, I think she's put on some weight with that ice cream stuff.
The Mom.
Yeah, and the cool thing is on Sunday, we're going to start the puppies on food, so we won't actually be doing the milk anymore. I mean, she's pretty much done.
We grind up the dog food.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. She just did so great. Allie, I'm very glad. That's awesome. Yes. Everyone, force your husbands, wives, everybody needs to watch Living with Wolves. Sonny, no, he's not keeping any of them. They're all mine. I'm the dog lover. Midnight, she's over here doing good, and you're being a bad influence. You're being a bad influence. Yeah, you're being a bad influence. Let's see here. Who's your biggest Cane Corso preacher right now? Yes, Rasta is still with us. He'll be going home on Monday. Thank you very much, Damien. Sorry it's lagging, y'all. If it disconnects, we'll reconnect. Blondie, she does have a beautiful face. She's a cutie patootie.
She's sweet.
Let's see here.
Hey, you guys quit playing.
Yes, you can definitely buy one even if you live in Kentucky. That's not a problem. You can either come pick them up or have them shipped. Oh my god, that's like the worst quality video I think I've ever seen. It's just like a collage of muted colors right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Sorry.
Let's see here.
You can even hear us correctly.
I know, right? Jeez. I hope it's not like that whenever it uploads. Do you think it's like that? Do you think it actually gets all grainy like that?
I hope not.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
We should try I bet you that webcam.
Let's see. Will I be testing all my younger dogs? Yes, I will. I don't do their eyes. There's just no point in that. But I definitely do pen hip and usually OFA because it's done at the same time. And I'll probably do their hearts too. Let's see here. Let's see. We need not dog related. Thank you. Yes, I do. My daughter and we are very close.
Huh?
It's always been very important to me.
Oh, hello.
Let's see here. Wolves at our door. Yes, it is, Jessica. Wolves at our door. That's what I was saying. I found out about that documentary because I bought it. Because I'm a big animal lover. I love animal documentaries. If I could just sit and watch animals live all the time, like live streams of wild animals, I totally would.
I think they have those.
I don't find much more interesting than animal behavior. So I bought that documentary and then I was just like, oh my God. I was like, that is so awesome. Like, can't believe these people were lucky enough to be able to do that. So, yeah.
She's an animal nerd, by the way.
Let me see here. Rachel, love you so much. You're an amazing person. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. How old is Velocity and Cashmere and then all of your dogs? So, let's see. No. Cashmere, no. No. Preacher's fixing to be 3. Cashmere's fixing to be... Or Cashmere's like 2.5. Seneca is like 3.5 months old, I believe. Tennessee is anywhere between 4 and 5 months. I just have so many dogs, I forget. Midnight and Blondie are like 6 months old now. Velocity's like 9 months old. Did I? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they're all over the place. Let's see here. Thank you, Rose. Are Connie courses related to pit bulls? No, they shouldn't be. They really shouldn't be. That's not to say that people haven't bred pit bulls in, but they shouldn't be related. Let's just say that. Would you recommend Canes for families with young kids and small dogs? Watch them, Savannah.
Shh, you guys stop it.
As long as you can control your dogs, you're totally fine. Doesn't matter as long as you're a good, strong alpha. If you're a good, strong alpha and your dogs respect you, then you can have whatever you want.
Blondie, Midnight, quit it, you two.
Yes, the video quality is absolutely horrible right now. I'm sorry. It was great earlier, but now it's bad. You guys, stop. Savannah.
Yeah.
Bro.
You guys stop it. Quit.
That's your dog.
Bro, that's your dog right there.
Bro, Blondie is your dog.
Yeah, but Midnight is yours.
Yeah, but Blondie is over here playing.
Yeah, but Midnight is too. Cashmere, shut up.
All right, let's see here. No, go away. Go away. I love you too. Go away. I love you too. Go away. I love you too. Rottweilers like Corso. Probably more than a pit bull for sure. CJ, you're welcome. Let me see here. Let me see. Thank you, John. I love them too. They're absolutely adorable. They're great dogs. Let me see. Do I think dogs pick up certain personality traits? Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. Let me see. First time Corso in an apartment. It's totally fine. You just make sure you get them out and get them some exercise. They're not a super high energy dog, so it's not too bad. Do you have plans to ever come to Mississippi to do a meetup or something? I would love to meet you one day. Yes, I would love to do kind of a tour thing where I go kind of, I wouldn't say a tour, but workshops where I can kind of get a place and really interact with everybody and kind of try to help them with their dogs. it helps me a lot to be able to see, like, I can read a dog's body language and even their face a lot like a person. So I can tell a lot about the relationship between a person and their dog just by seeing them, to be perfectly honest with you. So, no. I told you no. Go. You guys need to stop.
Rah.
Let's see here. Shay. Who does Cashmere love the most out of the pack? Or, well, who does she get along with the best?
It's not really anyone.
I would say Blondie, probably. Really? Blondie is, like, super sweet and nice. Midnight can be a bit of a jerk.
Do you look at my dog?
She hates Velocity right now. She just does. There's nothing we can do about that.
I will say her.
I won't say she hates her, but she's just. I think that she feels threatened by Velocity, to be perfectly honest with you. So I think she knew that Velocity was going to be a really good-looking dog, and strong and structurally strong. You know, I think that's the difference. Let's see here. How long have you been a Corso breeder? Probably, I guess like 2 years now. I guess 3 years maybe since we started getting into it. But I was breeding dogs before that, just not this breed.
Yeah.
Hey, sugar. Hey, their lover. Hey, their lover.
Alright, you guys calm down.
I like to kiss their nose. Hey, sugar.
Cashmere,
stop.
Up.
No, stop. No. She's this face like, hey.
She's like, hey, you want to see me?
She does, yeah. She's like, hey, come on.
Hey, you guys stop it. Go in.
Here. Can female dogs go into the heat at the same time? Yes, they can. If they do, then as long as they're old enough to breed, I'll breed them. It's not a big deal.
Someone asked a long time ago.
Yes, I did notice the video's fixed. Very cool. Let's see here. Would you recommend neutering a male dog? No. Not unless I had to. I prefer to let them have their hormones.
Hey, Velocity, back off.
How do you pick a house pet and read temperament traits in pups? I don't. Because of the fact that I train dogs and I'm so good at it, and I don't mean like I'm so good at it. I just mean that, like, if you're good at dogs, you don't have to really worry about temperament so long as it's not a faulty temperament, meaning that there's something wrong with the dog. In fact, I kind of like dominant alpha type dogs. I like them because, well, I don't know. I just do. I just like them.
Thank you, Angela.
Yes, thank you, Angela. Folks Living with Wolves has action, drama, humor, romance, even a Cinderella story. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's such a sweet little story. I love it. I love it. And you get just as connected to those animals, I feel, like you do as ours. I love it. I wish. I used to want wolves, and I had to really talk myself out of it. And I may get one, like, one day, like when I live out in the woods, and because, you know, I'm going to have my own property, but even farther out like that. But
you're going to live in Tennessee?
But I don't want an animal. I don't ever want an animal that doesn't enjoy being with me. So I've done enough research to know. So if I felt that it wasn't the right thing morally to do, then I wouldn't. But if I did think that I could have a hybrid and it not be an issue and it could enjoy living with me and everything, then I may do it. We'll just see. So let's see here. How did all dogs get their names? Through a lot of hard thinking on my part. Not always. Blondie came to me. Yeah, Blondie just came to me. I just looked at her and I was like, sometimes they just, She was
named after the band.
The 80s rock band, Blondie. It just came to me. But not all of them are that way.
And yeah, she's blonde.
So, not all of them that way. You know. If I choose to stud Preacher, I stud him at $2,500 currently. It will go up if he champions.
Hey, you guys quit it.
What's my opinion on horse sports? Beautiful dogs. I appreciate it. So, horse sports, don't have a problem with as long as it's done well and done right.
Never watched any.
You know, the thing that a lot of people don't understand is when you make sports illegal, then people stop buying those animals. And then what you do is you lose an entire genetic gene pool of animals that were once used for a purpose, and the existing animals then have to be rehomed. You should see what happened back whenever the people stopped using huskies for transportation, or even way back in the day when horses stopped being used in favor of buggies and vehicles. It was not a pretty thing. Having sports and things to use animals for ensures that they have a home and that they have a purpose. When you take those things out, those animals have nothing to do, and people move on, and then those animals are either put to sleep, they're forgotten about. Really horrible things happen when people do that. So animals should be allowed to be used for the work that they were used for, so long as it's in a healthy and safe manner, in my opinion.
Someone asked, do you like the Titanic?
Alexia, I do step in when my dog's horseplay too rough. Absolutely. I don't allow things to get too out of control because nothing good comes of it. Tennessee is not from one of Cashmere's litters. She's from Hawk Ridge, Cane Corso. Totally different.
Oh, the cat is so mad up there right now. The dogs are messing with her.
Yep. Yeah, hand it to me. Go bring me the cat. Yeah. Yes, I did see the Greyhound ban. Very sad day. Very sad day. Corsos look different because of the fact that there's a difference. So depending upon where you got your Corso from, the American bred dogs look a certain way. The Italian dogs look a certain way. The Russian dogs look a certain way. And the reason is because everyone has a difference of opinion of what the dog should look like. And so, you guys, quit. Stop.
Everybody back off.
That's why. Nobody's agreeing to a uniform type. Back. Go. Eat. Go. Go.
Eat.
Stop. Go. Bring her over. Okay. Move.
Blondie, back off.
Go away, Blondie. Go away. Go away. See, everybody's asked about my cat. She's
very angry. Oh, you guys are turning off lights. Okay.
Quit. Go lay down now.
Okay, let me turn it on.
Go lay down now. Woman. Go. So my cat is not supposed to be downstairs, which is why they probably don't like her down here.
Get back now. Go now. Go. She's a Savannah cat. Blondie, back off. Her name is Blair.
No, Blondie, go lay down now.
Blondie. What's the name of the feline? Blair.
What did I say?
Because she's attitude.
Go lay down, Blondie, now. Go. Okay. It's okay, kitty. It's okay, kitty.
She just has an attitude.
You're a bad dog.
She's got a very big attitude.
She was named after Blair from Gossip Girl. Because she's a queen bee. She don't like nobody. She doesn't like nobody. What did I say? Go lay down. Go lay down.
Midnight, back off.
Will you put them outside real quick so I can let her go?
Everybody outside, now, let's go.
The problem is when I let this cat go, they're going to want to chase her upstairs because she's not allowed to be downstairs.
Preacher, let's go.
Preacher, now.
He's so upset.
Go, Preacher. All the way.
Alright, she's good. Alex, open the door up there!
Savannah. So I just wanted to show you her.
She's not big. Coat. She's not big. Talk about Savannah cats being big. Look at her. She's tiny. Not tiny, but she's not big. Shh. You just get the cat.
And she's gone.
Okay, I can let the dogs back.
Yeah, she does not like. We watch them out there so they go to the bathroom. She does not like being held at all. Most Savannah cats don't. So for her to let me hold her like that.
They're all waiting by the door.
Is pretty rare. There's hair all over the place. Okay.
She's shedding too.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Back to the questions.
Blondie, back off.
How many dogs have I had? More than I can count. In my whole life. Go away, Poochie. Go. You're in the way. You in the way. No, Madison. We separated finally, unfortunately. Just didn't work out. And we're good friends. We'll always be friends. But the relationship part just didn't pan out, unfortunately. Do I recommend kenneling your Corso while you're at work? If you can't trust them to be alone, then yes. If you can train them to be out, then I would leave them out. I appreciate it, Madison. I do. I appreciate it. It's tough times, new times, but you know what? I'll figure it out.
Better.
Yeah, it is for the better. Put your booty.
Bro, are you gonna drink your coffee?
Yes, I'm drinking my coffee. Jeez.
Like over here, I made you.
You guys go away now. I know what you're looking for. You're looking for the cat. Go. Stop. Preacher, if you mess with my camera, what I tell you with your big fat head? Okay. Let's see. Let me see here. Really? You almost knocked my coffee out of my hand. Go. What did I tell you? Let's see. The cat will absolutely move with me. I love my cat.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, I would sell a dog to the UK. It just depends. I just have to figure out how to do it. I know, right? I do need a vet for my next boyfriend. That'd be awesome. It'll save me on costs.
Yeah, you would.
So,
any vets out there, if you're looking for a gal, just joking. I don't think she would date some.
Get in my coffee. Women. See, she's up there. Go. She's up there.
Everybody's like, oh, we're going. They're up there now. Full pack.
Let's see. Anxiety. Oh, how do you fix it? Building confidence is usually a good idea. Will you fix that? Because it's like still looking over there. The dogs keep hitting it.
Yes, indeed.
I am getting a new dog. I'm getting, more than one new dog. So, where do I see myself in 5 years? Hopefully with...
Very successful.
Yeah. Hopefully with a... Preacher, really, dude, go away. Dude, seriously, stop. Hopefully with a...
Preacher!
I swear to God, put him up. He keeps hitting that thing. It's
Alex,
not okay.
Take Preacher!
You are being a bad dog.
Yeah.
If he's like a bull in a china shop right now. He keeps...
Alex, take Preacher!
He keeps hitting the...
Take him!
Keeps hitting this
Open
thing.
the door! Open it!
I know, right, Jessica? She's so funny. She's shameless. I swear, shameless. I love it.
Take him!
She's such a good kid.
He won't be bad. Just take him.
Alex, can you please open the door? Is he seriously not opening that door?
He opened it. Take him.
Oh my God.
Okay. Okay, he's okay. See, that's kind
Okay.
of there's a reason
let's
right
see.
there.
So ideally I would love to have my own kind of, how like Cesar Millan has like his training center. I would love to have that plus a breeding training facility. And then I would love to be able to then do I don't know if anybody of you watched Buck, the documentary Buck. He works with horses. I would like to do workshops like that with dogs. Hey, no. Midnight, stop. You guys quit horsing around in here. Let's see here. Do any of my dogs have skin allergies? Not really. But they can have like itchiness and stuff. Like I noticed that like if they roll in the grass, like even if I roll in the grass, I get all itchy. So, just sometimes that little stuff can happen, but they don't have anything that I've noticed to be like, I had a dog a long time ago with a flea allergy, and that was really something. Let's see. Do I think I'll ever get a horse in the future? I don't know. Probably not. At least not
A miniature horse.
I don't know that I will ride it. Ideally, I would like to get enough space to like have a big pasture where I can like retire horses. So like
what are you guys talking about?
Woman, if you want to put that back right now.
You already have a horse.
Oh my God. So ideally I would like I could maybe offer like a retirement home for horses. I think that would be cool. Not everybody needs to be a horse rider. I'm 35 years old. I'm scared of falling off a horse. I've already got bad knees. I'm not trying to test, you know what I mean? But I would love to look at horses. I would like to see their dynamics. So maybe I could just offer a home to some aging horses or something. Maybe save some horses from slaughter. So yes, Buck is the best. And you know what? He's also a foster kid.
Someone said, "Will you marry me?"
So will I marry you? I can't just.
The funny thing is, before this live stream, I was thinking, what if somebody asked to marry her?
Right. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see here.
Cashmere, quit!
Let me see. Should I be worried? Where did I see that? Where did I miss that? Should I be worried if my dog growls at someone who's sketchy or mean mugging her? It depends. I don't like Preacher growling. I don't mind if he watches, if he looks, but the growling, I don't necessarily like very much. Especially because what if that person is just trying to get your dog to attack them so they can sue you? It's something to think about.
People do it.
Jessica, you're so funny. Are you with it? I love you. Let's see here. Maybe she'll start taking applications for new boyfriend. That's cute. Okay. What's the difference between pit bulls and American Staffordshire? Years of separate breeding gene pools for different purposes and different looks.
You're so pretty. You
Thank you, Sheldon. I appreciate it. Do you watch the dog show on Thanksgiving? No, I've never been one to watch dog shows, which is funny considering that I'm sending my dog to a dog show.
They're boring.
I like the tradition of the dog show in the sense that what it theoretically was back in the day was a for people to show off their best working specimens. Now it's not that. So I wish that it focused more on athleticism. Like I wish that at a dog show you actually had to see the dogs move, see them run, so you can see which dogs are actually more athletic and better movers. That to me is more ideal. My dog gets nervous. Anxiety starts walking sideways whenever other dogs start barking him during his walks. So what I do, well, how can you work on that without traumatizing him? See now, there you are. So if you're worried about traumatizing the dog, you're already thinking the wrong thing. The thing you want to think of is you have a child next to you that is throwing an absolute fit for no reason. So think less about traumatizing him. It's more about disciplining him. You want to get him in check. So you need to stop the behavior. That's most important. I would start working on getting the dog to ignore. So I use my leash. If a dog, you'll see in the video I did with Rasta, the first video I did, we're walking down the trail and some people were walking by, and as he kept trying to look, I kept giving him a correction. As that I didn't want him staring at them because he was only going to work himself up. Nothing good is going to come of it. If it's not something to be afraid of, and I know the dog is prone to fear, I won't let them look at it. Just period, end of story. Let's see here. Is the dog show for athleticism? Yes, it is, and it's very fun to watch. I wish that it was more versatile to be able to like suit all dogs. Not all dogs, but like more dogs than just like collies and stuff like that. Like some of it isn't really suited for a dog as large as a Cane Corso, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't also be tested physically either. We just need a better suited course for them, I would say. Let me see. When I get older, I plan to breed pit bulls and Cane Corsos too. Did Rasta go home? No, I've got Rasta here.
He's sleeping.
He's sleeping.
Surprisingly happy.
What would be a good dog for me as a single female to have once I move into my own place? Get yourself a Cane Corso.
Get your male Cane Corso.
I've always said that every woman needs her own Cane Corso. Get a male. Socialize him. Make sure he's a good boy. You know, that way you can still date and he won't eat your boyfriend. But I mean, let me tell you something. Nobody will mess with you. Not even your own boyfriend. So there's no better protection than a Cane Corso. Truthfully,
Preacher and Alex couldn't be any closer, and yet.
How do you stop someone from whooping their dog? Threaten to call cops. You know, or tell them that you know, beating a dog is only going to make the dog fear them and overthink everything, and it makes training harder. So, do you have any recommendations on helping a submissive dog gain confidence? Absolutely. You know, do some training with them. I would use treats for a dog like that. Like if it's a very submissive kind of, they want to pee and stuff like that, you really got to be careful with them. So you don't want to do any kind of like forcefulness because it'll actually make it worse. So anything to encourage happiness and excitedness and with dogs like that. I worked with a wiener dog that used to run and hide under the bed as soon as his owner got home. And it's because he didn't like the dog. And he didn't realize that the dog could pick up on the fact that he didn't like the dog. And so every time that I came over, I made sure to call him and give him lots of love. And, you know, normally you don't want to make a dog excited, but if they're very timid and submissive, it actually can be a good thing. Let's see here. Do you ever worry about your pups might end up in a shelter or pound? No, I don't. I don't sell to people that would do that. I just don't. There The people that do that, like when you spend as much money on the dog as I charge, you don't take it to a shelter. You're certainly not giving it away for free. You know, I just haven't seen it. So everybody knows that why take it to the shelter when they can bring it back to me. I don't judge. I'm not gonna, in fact, I require it as part of my contract, but I don't, you know, most of the people that I sell a dog to are married. They're people that are in their life, you know, maybe they're not married, but they own their own home. Like, I don't make a habit of selling dogs to just random people that really aren't in a good place in their life to be having a dog. Let's see here. I agree, Christina. I love wolves, but I don't think I would ever want to own one either. I thought about it for a while, but I don't know. It's something I don't think is ideal. What is the largest pack you've ever had? Back whenever I was breeding pit bulls, I had
20.
more. I had about 12 with puppies, sometimes up to 20, but that's obviously temporary. But yeah, I find it easier to maintain a larger pack versus a smaller pack. That's just me personally. The youngest age requirement for my females before breeding, they need to have their second heat. That's what I go off of. How to start your puppy on raw. Just do a little bit at a time and work up to it, and then start replacing the kibble with raw. Or if you're going to do kibble and raw, I would separate them. So I would do maybe raw in the morning, kibble at night, you know, vice versa, whatever works for you. How can Preacher see his pups? We do meetups for local people, and then, you know, obviously if they're not local, then he doesn't get to see them. He has gotten to see these puppies over here already. So, question: if I come down to Texas, can we have any? Can we have a fan day or do anything like that? Yeah, absolutely. If I had enough people that lived around here that wanted to come by, we could absolutely set something up. I've had people that wanted to come by and just meet the dogs, and we always allow it. My dogs are really super friendly. They're really chill. It's not an issue to me. So, you know, I don't mind. I do obviously have to make the time for it, but I always try to be accommodating. Let's see here. So you wouldn't sell to a college student or a single mom in an apartment. It just depends. It really depends. I've had dogs in apartments and it wasn't a problem. There's a, you know, I feel like I'm pretty good at recognizing the kind of temperament of person that will get rid of a dog. Because the thing is that just because you rent doesn't mean you can't have a breed like this. It means that you can't be the type of person that allows something as trivial as an apartment saying we have a breed ban to stop you. There are people like me that have never allowed those kinds of trivial things to stop us from keeping our pets. I will go and, like me, I'm notorious, but I own now, but back whenever I rented, I always made sure I would drive through neighborhoods and find the houses with the red for rent sign, right? I don't go through your, you know, your rental companies. Those people are always going to really give you a hard time. They don't want to mess with it. But you can usually work things out with an individual owner or renter. And then as far as apartments, a lot of apartments are now switching to no breed bans and stuff like that. So you just have to do your research, and you have to find a place that lets you, your dog has to be the priority. And if I think that you're the kind of person that puts your dog as a priority over everything else, I'll still sell you a dog. It just depends on you know, your temperament. And I'll ask you a lot of questions. Believe me, I've been around the sun and back as far as the kinds of stuff I've done in my life and sales and things like that. So I'm pretty good at getting a good feel for people when I talk to them. I'll ask a lot of questions, but I want to make sure that the dogs are going to good homes. Would I sell to a military family? Only if that military family was no longer at risk of being sent to war or active duty, or if they had, like if it's a wife and husband, if the wife can stay there with the dog, then that's fine. If it's a single guy and he's still in active duty, probably not. Let's see here. Let me see. My dog occasionally growls, attempts to bite during discipline. How to handle aggression in this situation. What I will do is I'll do what Cashmere does, which is what I call a mouth bite. You'll really see all my dogs do it. Preacher does it to all of them, where he takes his mouth and puts it over the puppy's mouth. And so when a puppy tries to bite me, I take away the mouth. And I will close the mouth, And they'll fight, but you hold on to it. Not enough to hurt. You're not trying to squish their mouth. You're just trying to stop them from being able to bite you. And I make eye contact and I tell them no. And I give them really strong, as if my eyes are like a laser and they could burn through the back of their head. And I give them this look, very stern, and I make sure they know I'm dead serious. And the minute that they give up and they relax, I let go. And that's how I teach them not to bite me. It's not, like I said, not to hurt, but it's definitely to let them know you're not going to bite me. Let's see here. Let's see. Delete Taliana. I think somebody timed her out, but if we need to delete her, we will.
What did she say?
Let's see here. Can a dog be aggressive towards other dogs but fine with their pack mates? Absolutely. Absolutely. Big time. Let's see. 6 horses, 20 dogs, cats, birds, chicken, guinea pigs, all overs living at my farm. I also be saved from euthanizing. That's awesome. I love to hear that. We need more people like that, doing their part to help out. If an adult dog is letting a 12-week-old puppy be dominant and bullying them, should I, as the leader, keep correcting him or let them work out the pack dynamic? So, as long as you have a submissive dog so the only way it would be a problem is if the older dog isn't submitting to the younger dog. So if he's kind of still trying to check the little dog, as time progresses, that will become a problem. If your older dog is just generally more submissive, you can actually get away with that. You can actually get away with, now granted, you don't want to let him like beat up on the other one and bully them, but there, Preacher, when I first got him, I had an older dog. He was around 9 years old, maybe 8.5 years old. And he's just super submissive and chill. So he would let Preacher do things. Like he would let Preacher lay completely on top of him because he wasn't a very alpha dog and just didn't care. So in that instance, I could let Preacher kind of push him around a little bit. Not enough to make him feel like he needed to defend himself. But, an alpha's going to do alpha things. So it takes a know-how of knowing when it's gone too far and when to step in to prevent aggression.
Hey, you quit it in there.
Hey, Seneca, stop. Let's see here. How is Preacher and Velocity related? Velocity is Preacher's sister's daughter.
Then they have the same father?
Oh, I have a dog hair in my coffee. That's disgusting. Can you take that?
Yeah. The life of dogs. Life with dogs.
It's the life of dogs right
Dog hair gets everywhere. You can't even eat something without dog food.
Hashtag the struggle is real.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was freezing for a second.
No, it's gross. No. All right. So this is, yeah, exactly. Iced coffee, yeah, it was cold.
It was.
Although I don't mind. I'll drink cold coffee.
You wasted the coffee I made.
How much is it to hire a professional dog trainer? I don't know. I've never had to hire one. I charge $500, but that's totally different. I don't train dogs like most people do. Let's see here.
How do you introduce a new puppy in the pack?
A safe way. I've shown you guys how I do it. I literally bring them in. I can trust my dog, so I really don't have to worry about it. Let's see here. Can you see the puppies? Go ahead and bring me a big one.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
Would you start breeding pit bulls or American bullies? I probably wouldn't breed either one of them at this point.
All right. Who's big in here?
Fixed jealous behavior. Just don't allow it. When it comes up, ignore it and don't reward it. So if they try to take your energy or your time away from another dog, don't let them. Just kind of make them go somewhere else, right? Like if one of my dogs tries to take attention from the other one, then I will ignore that dog and not reward it by giving them that attention.
Hey there!
Hi there, sugar. Look at that face. Hello.
He's a big boy.
Hello.
He's the biggest we have right now. He's a brindle. He was actually really small whenever we first got him. Or whenever he was first born.
Go away with me.
Go away with it. How did you come up with the name? Again, it takes process. Savannah is so pretty, loving the vow. Thank you. Would Savannah ever breed when she gets older? Maybe. I don't know. Stay good and listen to your mama. I love your boat. Thank you.
And the baby.
It's Savannah, you're a cute anime girly.
Yes, she is. Yeah. She wishes she was.
She wishes she was. I like the boat.
Where are you trying to go? Are you sleepy? Are you sleepy, baby? No, the baby.
Cuddly baby. Some dog destroys a kennel when you leave him. Do you have any advice? Do I have a favorite dog? Blondie.
Yeah, Blondie is her dog.
Yeah. Is that Chinchilla? No, this isn't Chinchilla. Chinchilla is the blue puppy. He's a brindle.
Yeah, this is a blue brindle. But the other one, Chinchilla, is a solid blue.
Why do you homeschool? Because public school right now in the district that I was in isn't that great. The kids and the teachers and just everything about it is not great. And it wasn't a good influence on me. So my mama took me out for good reasons.
She wasn't learning anything.
I wasn't.
She was learning.
You wouldn't believe how back I am in math.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was everything Jordan Peterson said it would be.
Yeah. But I'll be going back later.
I love
I'm doing online school to get ahead. I totally feel you. You definitely can get very ahead in online school too, yeah. Oh my god, he is so cute.
Look at that face. She
Peterson is the best.
Yeah, she was learning more in homeschooling than she was at school. There's something to say for hey. Sorry, he's so distracting. It's so hard. I know you so much. You're too cute. Oh my god. Oh god. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. You're too cute. Okay, here, take them. You're too cute. Mama loves you.
Check out my video from Russell talking.
Mm.
School sucks, period. I agree.
You bite my finger? You gonna bite my finger? You bite my finger?
House to new house go, or Savannah, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Sorry, you guys.
I don't know.
Take that puppy. I can't concentrate.
I don't know what I want to be whenever I grow up.
I cannot concentrate with that puppy. Sorry, you guys. I love little babies.
One more kiss.
Baby. Oh, did you baby? Oh, did you baby? Okay, sorry. Okay. All right.
I love how you get to like watch yourself over on the computer of what you were just doing.
So what breed is Blondie? She has a narrow face compared to the others.
She just looks different.
Yeah, Blondie just looks different. She what is called lax type, meaning that she doesn't look like the type of she should. And that's just basically because there's a bunch of people that are breeding dogs and they're not breeding true to type. So you get a variance of type. Let's see here. College is going to be a good experience. Yes, it will. Yes, it definitely will.
I'm going to go to, what do you call it? College. I'm going to go to...
She doesn't know if she's going to go to college.
I'm going to go to, what's it called?
She may go to...
switch that around. There we go.
You're so cute.
I'm just like, oh, no.
Let's see here. Let me see. Dog to not wander when it's off leash. I have a video on that I did with Midnight. I really start when they're young, when they're puppies. So that's a good one to watch. Do I deliver them? No, but that's something I'd always thought of doing, but no, I don't. Let's see. Can you train me to be a pack leader like you? Do you teach in person?
It comes naturally. I think. Like not naturally. I mean, you can.
Anybody can be an alpha. Anybody can. It's like acting. Like you just, even if it doesn't come naturally to you, you just have to figure out how to play the part. Everyone has it in them to be an alpha. I promise you that. You just have to.
It just came to you more naturally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just comes to me more naturally.
Like I'm not a good alpha.
I'll be honest with you, mostly because of the environment I was raised in. When you grow up in foster care, it is a social hierarchy. It's a bunch of kids put together that don't have family ties, and so a hierarchy has to be established, especially with girls. So I always grew up watching that hierarchy and watching the way that it would move and the way that people would interact with each other and all that stuff. So I learned how that system works, on top of just seeing it with dogs as well. So everyone has it in them to be an alpha. Promise you that. Let's see. Yes, right, Jessica. I am teaching them to be alphas with their guy. Do I have any time for myself? No.
I mean, we'll go shopping sometimes,
No,
like me
really,
and her,
no.
but
No,
like
no.
That's a very rare occasion.
Yeah, no. Let me see here.
Even holidays are hard to put together with these dogs.
Let me see. Makeup video. Oh, God, I thought about it. I don't know. I've had a lot of people asking me about makeup, and the funny thing is I've always been an avid watcher of YouTube, and I thought about doing a makeup tutorial before because I get a lot of compliments on my makeup, like even from work. But
you should see her palette collection.
I have I have as many palettes as a makeup as a beauty guru.
Yeah, there she has buckets and buckets of just
I have buckets of palettes. So I don't know. Maybe I might start like a different channel. Not this one. I wouldn't do it to this one, but maybe a different channel where maybe we do like dogs and makeup or something. But it's a thought. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's
my dog picks my
makeup. I wouldn't do it to this channel. So yeah. So let's see here. And yes, and it would be Freya. You're right. It would be most makeup channels do videos usually weekly. So I'd probably do something like that. It wouldn't be daily. But I love makeup. Like I'm one of those people that it is my time. It is my thing. Savannah can tell you. I'll go upstairs and do my makeup. And do my makeup for hours.
She's done my makeup before, just.
And I'll listen. That's where I listen to I'll listen to like a whole Jordan Peterson video as I'm doing my makeup.
Thank you, Marlon.
Marlon. Yes, thank you, Marlon. And then I'll wash it all off afterwards because I have to go to bed. You know what I mean? It's just I love doing it.
She's an artist. She's got a bunch of art, and it really.
How do you determine if your dog has good elbows? So usually a dog that has bad elbows, you'll see it. Their elbows kind of point out a little bit. It's not like this, but you'll notice that you'll actually see the elbows. You'll notice them. Usually a dog's elbows are like really kind of almost tucked in. With a dog that has elbows that are what they're called the elbows being out, meaning that you can kind of see the tips. You shouldn't be able to see them. So
somebody said, how would you prevent Preacher from trying to mate with Velocity, Midnight, or Blondie? Usually
we'll kennel them to prevent them from breeding. Just like we did with Cashmere. When Cashmere went through her first heat, she was kenneled to prevent breeding between her and Preacher.
It was very difficult. I will say Preacher was
it can be annoying. They make a lot of noise. Let's see. How will you? Yeah, there you go.
How old would you let Savannah wear makeup?
Why won't you breed Preacher and Velocity? Because Velocity is too closely related to Preacher. That's why.
Thank you, Marlon, again.
Thank you, Marlon, again. I appreciate it very much. I am going to be setting up a P.O. box. I actually drove past my new post office today and was like, I need to go in there and do it. So I will do it. I swear to you I will. I'm going to get this stuff done, y'all. But when I move, it'll be a lot easier for me. Because I won't have, like right now, like you understand, like tomorrow I'm going to start moving stuff into this new house. They told me it should be done by Monday. I don't know. At the very least, we know it's going to be pretty quick. So I'm trying to get this stuff done.
It's going to be crazy moving.
Let's see here. How did you learn to read dog body language and dog communication? Gosh, when I first went to foster care, I was in a home it was called a group home. So it was 12 girls and the girls were brutal. I'm
They would fight. Like,
I'm an alpha type personality, but I'm not a leader. I don't like to lead people. I don't like the responsibility of being in charge of other people or any of that kind of stuff. I just don't like it. But I also don't want to be told what to do. I'm not a follower either. I like to do my own thing. I'm a loner. So in an environment like that where all the girls, you either follow them and you submit and you like, do whatever you do, whatever they ask you to do, or they pick on you and they turn all the other girls against you. So I found that for me, it was easier to just be around the dogs. And so I would always be outside with my dogs, and I would just, was always very interested in them. And so I wanted to kind of understand them better. So I would really observe and watch. And as a method of me wanting to have a closer connection to them, I would pay attention to the way that they communicated and then try to like replicate that so that I could form communication with them. And I do believe that I have done that. It's not clear, concise communication, obviously. We don't know exactly what each other is saying, but I definitely do have communication with my dogs.
Thank you, Marlon, again.
Are you sure?
It's Marlon?
Oh, it is. Wow, thank you, Marlon.
Thank you again.
So sounds like Mean Girl Gang, yeah.
Yeah.
In my experience, any large group of women tends to devolve to that kind of behavior, unfortunately. Keisha, no, we are not. We didn't work out, unfortunately. We tried, but it didn't work out.
Jesus.
Let me see here. Dogos, yeah, definitely. Dogos are good dogs. I like them. Let me see here. Have you met Caesar Milan before?
We wish. We were talking about that yesterday. We were like, oh.
Especially because I know his background, his story.
He says they're not a lot like you, but it's kind of.
It is a lot like us, kind of. You know what I mean? Like he and I have gone through a lot.
Except for the fact that he came in from Mexico.
Yeah, and we both work with the same kinds of dogs. So I like Caesar. I think he's been given a really bad rap. But
everybody's like delete Trump.
So thank you, Marlon. Again, thank you so much.
Jesus.
Are you gonna be any new mail editions? Yes. I'm actually picking up a male around the 1st of December and bringing him back, which will be pretty cool. Yeah, I would love to meet Caesar. Anybody knows Caesar Milan? I would love to meet him, shake his hand. He's done a lot for the dog community. Yes, Shady, foster kids, very exciting. Love all the foster kids that are here. Do I like Siberian Huskies? I wouldn't want to own one, but I think they're beautiful dogs.
I love
the girls in school don't hate you, Savannah. They just hate the good in you. They're haters. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She had a lot of jealous girls. Let's just say that.
That was like in kindergarten and stuff. Middle school, nobody really cared about anything.
Yep. Good night, Brittany. You have a good night. Let's see.
Let's get Rachel to meet Caesar.
Are you ever going to give away Preacher or Cashmere?
No.
Absolutely not. No. In fact, I used to talk about the fact that I may rehome Velocity because of her temperament. Not that she's a bad temperament, but just because I felt that maybe she might do better in a single home where she would feel more confident. But the truth is, she's actually matured a lot and has really found her place here with the pack. And as long as she's happy here and well adjusted, I won't rehome her. Because it's not about me not wanting her here. It's about what's in her best interest. If she's not happy here, then ultimately I would want her to be happy. And some dogs are not always the happiest in a pack environment. Some dogs just really sulk and just part of it. And most likely in a natural setting, they'd be more of a loner and they'd kind of take off and do their own thing. So with Velocity, I've had this dude here.
Oh yeah, the Trump.
My moderator.
Oh yeah. She said she had to go for a minute to go feed her troops.
Okay, no worries. Let me remove that.
$4.99. Thank you, Marlon. Okay.
Let me see here.
Yeah, I would delete him on fast. He is.
My wife is pissed, dude. Donald, chill, bro.
Donald, chill.
Let me go to his profile real quick. Where do I do that? How can I not? There we go.
Where did you prefer Midnight than Blondie? Mom bonded to Midnight, and Midnight is the type and everything. And
there we go. Boom.
Midnight is her favorite dog.
I know, right? Thank you, Marlon. You're awesome. I appreciate it. My dogs are thanking you. They're gonna get some good heart meat tonight.
Why do I prefer Midnight than Blondie? Because Midnight suits my temperament. You know,
Blondie suits mine.
I mean, I love Blondie. She's like, I love her to death. That's like saying, why do you love one of your daughters more than the other one? Well, because one of them has more in common than me. That's why. I like dogs that have a temperament like mine. So Midnight is tough. You know, she's a tough girl. Blondie's sweet as just sweet. But I don't know why I kind of like a tough dog. That's just
like you
me.
said earlier,
like
what do you call it? A dominant dog or whatever, you know, more.
I wish I was on the season 1 show. That'd be awesome.
I mean, there's no problems with our dogs, but you know, still it'd be
let's
great.
see here. Let's see.
$4.99 Marlin again. Thank you.
Jeez, Marlon. Wow, I feel like you should ask a question at least. I feel bad just like taking that from you. You should at least say something. Let's see here.
Do you want to breed Blondie?
We may. You know, like I said, she has a lot to offer as far as being a really sweet girl. Very stable, sweet girl. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's tough. Knowing what is quality and worth breeding is one thing. As long as I'm not breeding anything negative in, I'm fine with it. I know a lot of people want our puppies. I wouldn't have a problem placing them. And so,
Cashmere, quiet down.
I don't know. We'll see.
Where's Tennessee? I love the girl.
She's sleeping on the couch right here.
I can't even tell what time it is.
Thank you, Shelby. That's awesome. I'm glad you loved Living with Wolves. It's a great documentary. Excellent documentary.
Marlon might have a crush on you.
Let's see.
I doubt it. I think he just, you know, supported.
Let me see here. Good question, Shay. I didn't see your question, Shay. Where's it at?
I would re-ask it.
Are you a vet, Marlon? That's like
now a joke.
Every time, that's what I'm saying. Every time we have a live stream, we have a new joke. Last time it was
Are you
Nancy's.
a vet?
Now it's Are you a vet? I love you guys. You're awesome.
Maybe Marlon's a vet.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
$9.99.
Yeah, he's a vet. That's awesome. Thank you, Marlon. He answered the question. Am I gonna breed Tennessee to Preacher? I would love a puppy from them. Yes, and let me tell you something. That's gonna be an amazing breeding, I should say. I know, right, Sarah? Let's see here. How often do you do lives? I'm actually going to be doing more live streams. So what I figured that I'm going to do from now on, because I get so many emails, and truth be told, I just can't. The time it takes for me to answer the emails would be much easier for me to do it here. So from now on, if you email me questions, I'm just going to direct you to the live stream. You don't have to pay for your question, although it does help for me to actually see it. Thank you, girl with the gun. But I really do try, as you can tell, to answer as many questions as I possibly can. And in the meantime, people that get on my, I'm trying to offer, so basically if you get on the Patreon and you donate through there, then I want to try to at least offer like a 30-minute phone call with people for training advice. So if you need help or something like that, then I want to try to give back as much as possible. Yes, Marlon is the super fan. He wins this time for sure.
He's definitely gotten a shout out.
For sure, yeah. Let's see here. Nathaniel, Corsos or Warbles, I would say go and meet some. Go to some breeders and kind of meet them and see which one suits your temperament and your life better.
Somebody asked, why is your site blocking certain countries?
Let me see here.
It shouldn't be blocking countries.
My web guy does have certain some places blocked, so I'll have to take a look at that. If you tell me where you're from, I'll try to make sure that it gets unblocked.
Romania.
I've been asking questions for 30 minutes now. I haven't gotten it answered.
Sorry.
I keep asking about small dogs because I want to be a Frenchie breeder for certain reasons. Well, I think I did mention, I did say that. You can have small dogs with big dogs. It's not a problem. Just, keep an eye on them. Make sure they don't trample them. And then I will say that as far as wanting to breed a Frenchie breeder, I mean, it's always important when you think about wanting to be a breeder to recognize, do we need more breeders, right? So I chose a breed that is still relatively rare. That way I wasn't adding to an already inflated population. So Frenchies are a breed that I have weird feelings about. Most of Frenchies that I've seen are non-functional, have a lot of health problems. So if you have the money to get into it, then that's one thing. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be very expensive. Think about, I mean, you're going to have to be doing cesareans. You're going to have health problems. I mean, all I can say is good luck.
The comments are full of, hey, Marlon. Hi, Marlon.
I know, everyone's like, hey, Marlon. That's awesome. He wants to know about breeding out medical issues. I mean, the truth is, it's hard to breed a trait out of a gene pool that is saturated with it.
It is very hard.
It's almost like you need to outcross, bring new blood in to be able to correct that. And even then, you're going to have the really staunch, diehard, purebred breeders that are going to get onto you and be like, oh my God, how dare you create a crossbreed? That's why some people say, well, do you not like crossbreeding? Well, it depends. If you're crossbreeding just to make a pretty dog to make money, yeah, I got a problem with it. If you're breeding a cross to better the breed and to breed a functional breed, then I don't have a problem with it. So it's a very complex issue. You can't look at things just from the surface and then make a judgment. Let's see here. How long does it take for a puppy to see their owners as alpha with consistency? Not very long. I would say at the very most a couple days, maybe a week. Think about it this way. When you go into, think about when you were in school and you went like elementary or maybe high school and you had a substitute teacher. Maybe it's the first of the year and you're meeting your teachers. You know pretty well when you walk into the classroom and you lay eyes on that teacher and say hi and whatever. You can pretty much tell by their energy, by the way that they are, whether or not they're going to be a tough teacher or not. And that is how
they have a look to their face.
Yeah,
they're like, I will get you, or they're like, hey.
Well, it's not just that, but it's usually just, it's their energy. It's the energy they put off. So if you put off alpha energy, then your dog's probably not going to mess with you very much. If you really try to be their friend and you're being really sweet and you're being very loving, and because keep in mind, that's why I always say watch the documentary Living with Wolves. Affection is a form of submissiveness. You don't see the alpha going and being super loving to the other pack members. They are super loving to him. They walk up and lick his face. So keep that in mind.
Preacher doesn't like it though. I will say that. He doesn't like when they come up and lick his face.
Let me see here. Good question.
Somebody keeps on asking, what do you think of Amstaffs or whatever that is?
Amstaffs. Amstaffs are the show version of the pit bull. You know, I've never really been very attracted to them. I never really liked the look. They always looked kind of like a guy that's done a lot of steroids and works out a lot. You know, they have big muscle, but they also look kind of poofy and kind of soft.
Poofy.
So that's what Amstaffs remind me of.
Poofy.
Like
a pillow.
So glad to see you too, Chastity. Have you ever owned Belgian Malinois? No, I never would. I have no interest in having a dog with that high of a working drive.
Kind of reminds me
of... I'm not going to work the dog. That's kind of like...
We had a, what's it called? We named her Seneca. It was, what's her name? I can't remember what breed she was.
I need something to drink.
You want some tea or some coffee? Well, the tea is actually... Well, you want some tea or you want
I'll have some tea. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, my love. Eye contact, very important. It's cruel to perpetuate brachycephalic dogs. Rachel, your thoughts? I don't know about cruel, but I will say that there is a balance. Like, not just because a dog is brachycephalic, meaning that it has a shorter muzzle, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have breeding problems. Now, it may be limited as far as its ability to operate in heat and things like that, but I will say there's a difference between a dog that has a muzzle that kind of comes out about that much versus the bulldogs you see, thank you, ma'am, that have a nose that's literally in the center of their eyes and like comes up in between their head. That's horrible. But like for example, the old English bulldogs, they have a little bit of a longer muzzle. I like those. So, and they're still considered, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but brachycephalic, whatever. I don't have a problem with it as long as it's not extreme.
When are we moving into the new house? Hopefully after Monday.
I know, right? Tea time. Yay.
Tea time.
I love tea. All I drink is tea and coffee.
Yeah, there's not a single time we don't have tea in the fridge. Like, ever.
Marlon, I'm gonna be getting a PO box very soon. I've just been swamped. I haven't done it yet.
Is it okay for a Connie Corso to be around a medium-sized Siberian Husky? Maybe I have a Siberian Husky that is a medium size.
Yeah. Yes. Sweet tea is the only tea.
Specifically Blue Diamond, or whatever you call it.
I prefer to make my own, but
really,
on a whim, I'll do Blue Diamond. The only reason that I don't make my own tea most of the time is because I make it, and then they drink it, and then it's gone, and I don't get any.
In a day.
In a day. So I'd rather buy it if that's the way they're going to do it. Let me see here. Are you strict to when it comes to the owners coming to view pigs? No, not at all. I actually let people come by. Once they get a little bit older, you have to wash your hands, sanitize them, but I like people to interact with their puppies. That way it's not such a shock when the puppy comes home with you. At least they kind of know you. So I don't have a problem with it at all. Milo's tea is excellent, Sheldon. I love Milo's tea too.
But they just don't sell it at a store.
Very nice. Level 10 tea. So
could Corsos be used for tracking? I mean, Cashmere's got a really good nose. I don't know if that's what that's about or whatever, but
oh gosh. Good night, Alexandra. I appreciate you stopping by for our stream.
Yeah, but but Cashmere's got a good
have I ever had to separate a bad fight? If so, how did you handle it? Yes, I've had to separate lots of fights.
Not
whenever I used to have pit bulls.
Look at Blondie.
Yeah. I got split all the way between these fingers here. You probably can't, obviously you probably can't see from that far, but yeah, pretty bad. I've got scars in here on my leg from where I got bit. Usually ideally what I would say is, if you've only got one person, then, and you're in a house, then grab one dog by the back legs, pull them over to a door and to an entryway or something, and use the door. Put one dog on one side of the door, the other side dog on the other side of the door, and shut their mouths. Like take the door and shut it on their. And I don't shut it on their mouths, but just place it there so that they can't really grab or pull anything else from each other. You don't want to like shut it on them, put any pressure, because that's not probably going to work. But once they go in for the next grip, once they let go, then you shut the door, and then you have them separated in 2 separate rooms. That's by far the best advice I can give you, because then you don't have to worry about keeping them apart from each other anymore. Especially if it's just one person. And believe me, I've had fights when it was just me, and that's how I do it, is I use the door method. If you got 2 people, one person grab the back legs of the other dog, the other person grab the back legs of the other dog. Don't pull them a little bit apart, but not enough to where it's like ripping. You don't want to rip the skin, but create a little bit of tension. And then when they go in for, because they always want to go in for another bite. So when they go in for that bite, you immediately pull apart and then you separate them. Usually with pit bulls, they won't come around and try to bite you. Some breeds will, but pit bulls generally don't.
But these dogs don't. Connie Corsos, we have not had any fights with them.
Huh?
I said we haven't had any fights with the Corsos.
Yeah, we haven't had any fights with the Corsos. I honestly don't, like, coming from pit bulls to these guys, I don't know that I will have fights. These guys are easy compared to pit bulls.
Not saying that they are easy.
They really are.
But, like.
They really are.
Compared to...
Let's see here. My breeder was very strict, didn't let us go near other dogs, shelters, pet stores for 48 hours. Yeah, some breeders can be like that. Everyone has their own preferences. I don't have a Cash App name, Marlon. I don't have Cash App. I have Venmo, and we have Patreon.
Thank you, Reggie.
Yes, thank you, Reggie, very much. We really appreciate it. Let me see. Have you ever had a husky? No, I've just never really liked the temperament of huskies. I don't like a high energy dog all the time. I like a dog that's off when I want it to be off and on when I want it to be on. And I like the Corso for that. Like all these dogs right now, other than Cashmere in there whining, they're all laying here sleeping, being quiet, which I like. If I want to get up and move around, then they'll do that. But for the most part, if we're chilling, they're chilling. And I love that.
Somebody has to vaccines. Yeah, if you have any.
Let's see here.
Opinions on vaccines.
Thank you, Allegra. Appreciate that. Ash, thoughts on vaccines compromising the immune systems in dogs? You know, it's definitely a concern of mine. I don't do the fourth, like for example, I do 3 parvo distempers. I don't do the fourth. I know they encourage the fourth now, but I don't do it. And I know now they do a bunch of boosters. There's not enough science yet on it, but I do know that I don't like how there's so many like food allergies coming up. A lot of stuff gets placed on the plate of breeders. Everybody wants to blame breeders, but yet we do more to our dogs. Like people want to blame the stuff that goes on in humans on the beef that we eat because of all the stuff they do to it, whether it be hormones or vaccines or all this stuff, but yet we do the same stuff to our dogs and nobody wants to blame those same things on having a negative effect on dogs. What are you doing? So you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to look at it from a logical perspective. So we are doing a lot of stuff to dogs. We put pesticides on them on a daily basis. We give them heartworm pills. We do all kinds of stuff that we don't do to ourselves, and a lot of harmful chemicals. So to think that there's going to be any side effects or negative consequences from that, I think is foolish. I try to do as natural as humanly possible. Less is more as far as I'm concerned.
Why do my Cane Corsos carvo put their head on my feet and my lap?
Let's see here. Good night, Sarah. You have a good night.
You guys
it is getting late. We'll probably end the stream at we'll shoot for 11. We'll try to get to 11, but I can't guarantee it. Let's see here. I'm lucky in Germany. There's no heartworm here. That's very good. Although I will say that heartworm isn't I haven't seen as prevalent as people think it is. Like I haven't seen it be as bad. So but it is something to keep in mind. Everybody has to make their own decision on that.
Hello, D-Man from the UK.
Let's see. Sheldon, my next breeding will be in the spring of 2019. Do you think that dogs have a barking language? I swear my dog has conversations with the other back and forth. I don't think that dogs speak like you and I do with barking, but I do think that they can communicate emotion or meaning through sound in the same way that we can. Like when we what does this mean?
Annoyed and just
it's not a word, right? It's not a word. Dogs do that same sound too. so I think that it's a more basic form of language of communicating through sounds, but I don't think it's precise as us. Thank you, Bear. Let's see here. It's 11:27 in Georgia. Yeah, here in Texas, it's only 10:28. But my thing is I know it's late for us, but there are other places in the world where it's not the same time. So I want to, even though it's kind of late, I like to try to give as many people as an opportunity. Good night, Khalees. Let's see. Do you show? I don't personally show, but I am going to be having preachers showing. Let's see. Where am I from? I was born in Vegas and moved here to Texas when I was 5. So
I lived in Texas my whole life.
I call myself not born in Texas, but I'm Texas made. All right. Let's see here. Good night, Jessica. We'll see you Monday.
Bye-bye.
Try to get some more. I'm going to try to get you some video of Rasta on our walk this weekend. He's doing really, really good. You're going to be very impressed. Let's see here.
5:30 p.m. Saturday in Zealand.
Let me see here.
Wow,
how do you approach training anxious dogs? With firm and consistent training without allowing them to focus on things that make them anxious. Let's see here.
I will be getting a dog for you soon.
I will be getting a dog for you soon. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Is Preacher going to be on TV on the dog show? Possibly. I don't know. But that would be really cool.
We should get. I mean, she might.
See, I live in Arizona. It's 9:28, but we don't do daylight savings time, so it's a bit different. You guys are lucky. I hate daylight savings time.
Yeah.
I wish that they would get rid of it. All it does is ruin half the year.
It really does.
I hate it. I want my sunshine back.
Exactly.
I don't like the sun going down at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
It is.
I hate it.
And it got
good night, Madison. You have a good night. I'm glad to see you here.
Our clock messed up too. I was like, Jesus, it's 3:30 in the morning.
Awesome, Tara. Great to see you from Amarillo. Love to see it. Really, Cashmere? No.
Is Savannah going to make her own videos eventually?
I know, right, Laura? Seriously, I guess we all need to move to Arizona.
Yeah.
Thought on rat terriers. I've seen a couple rat terriers that I actually liked. For a small dog, they can have a pretty good working temperament as far as being really chill when they need to be. So, very smart.
Cashmere, quiet down, woman.
Let's see here. Perfect. Is Preacher going to have a TV show? That'd be so awesome. That'd be awesome.
He'll just sit in front of the camera and look.
Yes, most terriers are very high energy. The idea of a terrier is going to be the kind of dog that will get the job done no matter what. Even if it costs them their life, they will get it. In fact, they won't even consider it. Like, they're like the Marines. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, they're going to get in there. They're going to get the job done. Hell or high water. And I like that about terriers. That's why they originally bred terriers into the original bulldogs, to make them more tenacious. Let's see here. Cash. Oh my God. Let Cashmere out. Let's see if she'll.
See, she doesn't need to pee. Somebody said she needs to pee.
If we let Cashmere out
so much.
Yeah, be prepared for her knocking everything over.
Yes. So if it goes off or something. Yeah.
Let's see here.
She's no interest in puppies. Go say hi.
Shih Tzu Mayhem, nice to see you here.
Who?
4:30 a.m. over there, but hey, you know what? We're glad to see you.
Come say hi. Let me hold this so she doesn't knock it over or anything. Cashmere, go say hi. Come here. Cashmere, come here.
Come here.
Hey, baby girl. Hey, baby girl. Freezing? No, it's not.
Come here, sit down.
Cashmere, sit.
Sit down, Wayman.
Wayman.
Sit down.
Oh, she doesn't want to sit. There you go. Nah, no, she doesn't want kisses. What are you kissing? What are you kissing? Watch my chin.
Oh, God. She hit my chin.
Oh, she's crazy.
Oh, she's crazy. I told y'all she's crazy.
She's a crazy mama. Oh, knock it over.
I told you she's gonna knock it over. What did I tell you? Better watch her. Cashmere, go.
She hasn't lost any weight, by the way. You
No,
guys.
no,
Like,
you can see. She's a fat girl. Man.
She's very fat.
She's a chunky mama, man. She didn't lose any weight.
She doesn't have any curves right now. She's just chunky.
I'll definitely kiss him goodnight for you, Allegra. Definitely.
Hey, girl. Are you going to go potty? Okay.
Let's see here. Rachel, check your teeth for hair. I know, right?
Check your teeth for hair.
We're good. We're clear.
We're clear. We're clear. Go on in.
No, Cashmere's back to her normal crazy self. She's not her super lovey,
mommy,
pregnant self. Yeah. No, she's back to her crazy self. Yeah.
She's a psycho. No, she's.
Sam, what was your question? I didn't see it. Can you please answer me? I don't want to get a sick puppy. I didn't see your question.
No nonsense. Alpha style. Where are you in Texas?
We're in Texas, Austin.
Austin,
Which
and
is
then
really
we're going
not
to Oatmeal.
I'm proud of. I don't like Austin anymore.
Austin sucks.
Hi from South Africa. I love watching. You learned a lot. Thank you very much. I have a German Shepherd. We didn't socialize her. What are the chances she still can? She's about 2 years old. You can still. I would just start her off slow, see how she acts. If she starts to get where she fixates, where she starts to stare, maybe gets a little aggressive, I would correct that behavior. Maybe make her go into like a sit, maybe a laying down, something like that. It just depends. But just want to make sure that any form of aggression is immediately disciplined and corrected. Let's see here.
Thoughts on Rotties?
Oh, I love Rottweilers. I really, really the
I used to live in Austin. I miss living in Texas. It's not that great anymore, you guys.
Yeah, Austin used to be the most amazing place I've ever lived. And now it sucks. It sucks. Everything good about it, you can't enjoy because there's too many people anyway. So it's just.
And everybody drinks.
Yeah, everybody drinks. It's just a drink. It's a party town. If you like drinking and you like partying, you'll love Austin. Yeah, come on in. Staffies. I've always loved Staffordshire Terriers. If I ever was gonna get like a small dog, I would get a Staffordshire Terrier. They're very cool.
What do they look like? Are they just
They look like probably what people wanted bully dogs to look like. those extreme bully dog types. How to build up confidence. Lots of love. Lots of petting. You know, you can take them on walks and just introduce them to new things. And, you know, overall, it's just loving and not letting bad things happen and just kind of showing them the world.
Is our new house in Austin?
Is the new no? My new house is in Bertram. It's not actually in Bertram.
Oatmeal.
It's in Oatmeal, but it's categorized as in Bertram. So Michael Jameson, I'll definitely check him out.
Please answer my question.
Would you recommend Corso for a senior who has experience with large breeds? You know, if you can train your dog and not need to like if you're, some people can be so good with training dogs that they don't need to really muscle them around or anything like that. So if you can do that, then you can be a senior with a big dog. It just depends. You don't, you know, you don't want to have to like.
Don't get it to flaunt it to your friends and stuff.
Yeah, you
you mean senior as in like an old person, or senior? Oh, yeah. I thought they meant as in like a high school senior.
No. Nice drinking tea with you from Norway. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad we're all drinking tea together. That's awesome.
Spill the tea.
Let me see. How many times can a dog be bred before she's considered retired? That is independent to the individual breeder. There are some people that breed their females until they stop going into heat at 9-10 years old. Some people stop early, like me, around 4 to 6 years old. Some people even only breed a dog maybe once or twice. So it's totally up to the breeder.
Yeah, 2 Rottweilers.
Let's see here.
2 Rottweilers. They're my first ever dogs. And I don't know, I couldn't read that.
What would you have considered, let me see here, aside from the Corso, what would you consider a different breed of Mastiff? Or what would you, I was looking at the South African Mastiff before I got the Cane Corso.
Thank you, Ash.
Yes, thank you, Ash. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know, probably, I don't know. There's some pretty cool looking Mastiffs out there these days. I don't know. I really like, if I lived in a colder climate, I'd probably get a Caucasian Overchucker. I probably said that wrong, but I really like the dogs.
Thoughts on Barracuda or whatever?
Thoughts on cattle dogs. You know, as long as you have the ability to train them, they're great dogs. Really great temperament. I think they're awesome. I really do. I think they're awesome. Thoughts on the Buceron and Doberman. I've seen the Bucerons before. Very cool looking dogs. I love Dobermans a lot too. I think they're both like really good dogs. I know with Dobermans specifically, you have to have a lot more time to dedicate towards training because they are one of those dogs that can have a very high energy level and will literally like run circles if you don't take them out. But as long as you have the time to exercise them and you're firm in your leadership, you know, they should be good. I mean, pretty much any breed of dog that is for protection is going to be on the stubborn side. And I think it's a trait because if you think about it, you're talking about a dog that is willing to step up to somebody trying to come into your house and defend you and your property and not back down, which is a form of stubbornness. So you're not going to get that kind of toughness without kind of a stubborn attitude. So
I mean...
oh, did it cut off?
No, I'm just saying, they were saying, am I as
Are you sure?
interested?
'Cause it looks like it cut off.
No, it hasn't.
Well, why is mine...
I don't know, it's not cut off though. Comments are still flowing in.
Yeah, but they might, but I'm telling you, I think
it's not cut off. I'm watching it. It's not cut off. She's upset. Midnight, get off your sister.
I think you're wrong.
Nope, it's not off.
Well, I don't even see any comments.
See, oh no, it froze for me.
I told you.
But it's not telling me anything.
Come on, fix it.
I can't. What are you talking about?
It froze.
Is it still frozen now? I moved it a little bit. I don't know. Is it still frozen? Fix it, Savannah. I'm trying.
All right. It's still frozen for me.
Can I just like click it?
I'm back now. It's not frozen.
Click.
What the? Oh, it's back. Mine worked. I just had to refresh my screen now.
Ha!
Refresh. Cool.
Unfroze it. Got it. Nothing frozen.
Almost thought we were gonna have to end it on a horrible note. All right, so let's see here. Let's see.
Got it.
Blah, 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 blah. Where we got? Oh gosh. She got you guys. Have you ever had random off-leash dogs attack a dog you were walking on a leash? Yes, I have.
Wait, really?
So what I do, if I see a dog that is off-leash and trying to approach my dogs, first, I'll verbally try to run them off. If that doesn't work, I'll charge the dog. I will literally...
Oh, yeah, I remember that dog on the trail.
Yeah.
We were walking, and this person had their dog off leash, and out of nowhere, we hear this dog galloping behind us. My mom turns around and just...
Yeah.
And the dog, like, stops, stares at her, and she's like, go!
My whole thing is I'm not going to go down without a fight. So, you know, I watched this one movie having to do, it was either a documentary or a movie having to do with working with lions. And this one guy that had been working with lions for a really long time said, you're better off charging a lion than trying to run away from it. And in most of life, it's that way. The reason that the honey badger is so tough and is, you know, so successful is because of their temperament. They will not go down without a fight. And that's me. If another dog comes at me, I will assess that dog and see whether or not I think that it's genuinely a threat. If I think I might be able to run him off, like usually I'll take a look and then I'll look immediately around me and see if there's anything I can grab to throw to protect myself. If last comes to last, I will just run and make a loud and just charge that dog as if I'm like, this is Sparta. And usually it's enough to make the dog turn around and take off or stop, or, you know, they'll
and usually they're not
things.
Usually they're not actually aggressive. Usually they're excited. Like the dog last time, literally when it was excited and just be with us in the pack.
Matthew, thank you very much. Thoughts on Pressas? They're a lot like Corso, but I would say if you were to mix a Corso and a Pit Bull together, it's probably a lot like what they're like. And they also have a lot more health problems from what I've seen, structural issues, because they're mostly, a lot of them have been bred for looks. They're a very substantial dog, kind of wide and thick. Any dog that has that structure has a tendency to be misbred by people who breed for physical traits and don't breed for health.
Thank you, Tyler
Barnes. That would be my opinion. Thank you, Tyler Barnes.
Somebody asked you earlier how many dogs sleep in our bed. Well, let's just say all of them.
Let me see. Lucky. Dude, I have to say, it's like, so it's funny to me when people like ask a question and I didn't see it, and then they're like, Rachel, and it's like,
bro, this question's running in.
I didn't see it. So my bad. Let's see here. What made you start breeding and training dogs? I've always loved dogs.
Loves dogs.
Yeah, I just love dogs, and
she grew up with them.
I love structure and stuff like that, so it just kind of came naturally to me.
I grew up with dogs too.
Let's see here.
Again, we apologize if we don't see your question.
Thank you, girl with a gun. Opinion on American bullies. I don't like American bullies. I don't like any dog that's been bred for looks instead of function. I don't like the temperament, so I'm not big on mixing a terrier with
Mama's coming in.
A big warrior type terrier with a dog that is wary of strangers. I think that it creates not the best temperament. What, really? Water all over my computer?
She's like, take the
really? Why are you gonna be? Look how pushy she is. Go away, you nasty girl. You take that slobber back.
She's like scratching my butt.
Look at all of my over me. Go away, women. Go. Look at that. Do you see that shiny slobber all over me? That's
Cashmere does slobber sometimes. That's the times that she does.
Can you give me some tissue?
That butt hurt face.
It's gross.
Take your tissues.
Let's see here. Would you ever have a dog that's bred for companionship, like a toy breed?
Oh, dang it. Sorry. No. Quiet, dogs. No. Sorry.
No, go away. I've had a Frenchie before. It just depends. I've also had, Well, that's not a dachshund is actually a hunting breed, so I can't say that. But it just depends. But I like big dogs. All right, there we go.
Who's awake?
Let me see.
You should be asleep.
Do you like dogos? Yes, I do like dogos. I thought long and hard about getting a dogo. The reason I didn't is because I don't like how with white dogs, solid white dogs, you have to worry about deafness. You know, I just don't have to worry about that.
Hey! Hey! Only baby awake.
The tongue, dude. I love that tongue.
Only baby awake.
Hey there. Hey there, big man.
Another puppy segment.
Hey, big man.
Oh, Velocity.
Velocity, go away.
Hey, sugars.
Let's see here.
Let's make it official.
Go. Let's see here. What do you think of wolf dogs?
Midnight.
Hey.
Velocity, go back off.
I think that oh, you're mad. No, you don't want to be. You're mad. Here, take him. No, you guys go. Biggie. Somebody asked me about, wolf dogs. Yes, I think they're beautiful. I like them. But I don't know that they make the best dogs for like owning, in your home. Let me see here. Coonhounds or scent hounds. I actually had a coonhound not too long ago.
They weren't that bad.
Not too bad, but the barking got to be a bit much. Let me see here. How old till the puppies start getting their personalities and walking around?
Well, they're already doing that.
They're already doing it. Hi, my husband and I love the breeds that are under the Mastiff label, but we really only owned a Bloodhound and an Aussie. Would you recommend a newbie to have a Mastiff type breed? Absolutely. If it was me, I'd probably start off with something more like a, I mean, you can get a Corso, but if you want to start off with a Corso, I always recommend getting like a rescue, like one that's already been trained, and just kind of getting used to having one that way. I would say even a Bloodhound isn't a Mastiff, but they're pretty dang close. They are definitely in that same kind of family. So they're very large dogs. So I mean, you're already kind of close there. Thank you, Tyler. I'm so glad that our training is working for you. Let's see here.
Any tips for
Velocity's best looking female. You can tell she's trying to be. Yes, she is. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's why people can't tell, but that's why Cashmere has it out for her. Bear Bezzy, we have a website. You just submit an application, and we try to get people on the list best we can.
You're very smart, and I respect you. You're a trainer and breeder. USA trainer and
Thank you very much, Allegra. Dogos, I love dogos. I think they're beautiful dogs.
What dogs do you
great temperament. They've been used for working. Most of them are structurally sound. The only thing is to watch for is make sure that they're not deaf. Schnauzers, I think, are awesome. I've even looked into getting a giant Schnauzer. The only thing that kind of put me off is all the hair on the mouth. I don't know how I feel about that in the grooming requirements. Not sure that I have the time for that.
Quiet down, you guys.
Shar-Peis. I don't really know much about Shar-Peis. I've met a couple of them. If I remember correctly, they're the original Chinese fighting dog. And so,
corgis.
They haven't really ever stuck out to me. Let's just say that. Corgis, pretty cool, man. I like corgis.
They're tiny.
They're pretty. They're just
tiny, but they're just cute.
Yeah, I haven't met a corgi that wasn't just a sweet, good-natured dog. Not yet. I haven't. Airedales, jerks. From what I've seen, they got their head in the clouds. I've met a couple of them too. They're pretty dominant, pretty no-nonsense dogs. Not for beginners, from what I would say.
You guys are looking at Velocity. Let me show you her. Velocity, women.
Let's see here.
How does Savannah make friends if her age she's at homeschooled? I don't have friends.
Yeah, Savannah, let's just say this. There's a good reason Savannah doesn't have friends right now.
None of the friends I did have were good, so.
Yeah, if you can't make good friends, then don't make any.
I had friends that, like,
Savannah, you know, that's a whole nother story.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it.
My friend is my cousin.
Yeah.
I'm your friend, Savannah.
My neighbors will be breeding their dogs once they're old enough. They don't know anything about breeding. They think it's as easy as having them and selling them. Their dogs are also related. Woo, wow, that's bad. Sounds pretty bad right there.
Velocity and Legend.
I love Dobermans. I've spoken about them before. I really love Dobermans too. I think they're great. What was I saying about Velocity and Cash? Basically saying that Velocity has it in her to be a really alpha type female if given the opportunity, even though she's our Omega. And Cashmere knows it, and so Cashmere has a tendency to feel threatened by that and kind of goes after her.
$5.
I don't know anything about boxers. I have not owned one, never really been fond of them. Thank you very much, Adrian. I really, really appreciate it. Will I have several litters at the same time? How will I deal with that? Yes, I prefer to have more litters at the same time than not, because if you have a female that has something happen, you can allow the puppies to feed off the other one. Plus, it's better to have the pups at once, because then you don't have a bunch of puppies all the time, right? So I personally prefer it that way. That way, we get it all done at one fell swoop, and then I can focus on raising up the puppies I kept from those litters and really dedicating my time to them.
Hall, you are correct. Blondie is my best friend.
Let me see here. Do you think...
Blondie, you are my best friend.
About beagles. I don't know about beagles. I've never worked with any. Don't have experience with any. The only thing that I know is that they're one of the dogs that takes the longest to mature. So they're very puppyish from a long time. Bees and hounds, I think, are beautiful. I actually thought about getting one. Yeah, I think they're gorgeous.
Bull terrier. Didn't we have bull terriers and I thought they were really ugly or something?
Let me see. Yeah, Allegra. Savannah's always been good at making friends and stuff, but when she hit the 5th grade, she went to a bad school. We live in a good area, but we got zoned for a school that just really wasn't good. And she is highly impressionable. She's a sweet girl, and she just wanted to make friends, and she just kind of got caught up in the wrong kids, which, you know,
it's very easy.
It's just easy, and it just wasn't good. It wasn't good. Like she wasn't learning. Let's just say that. Like, she wasn't learning, so I had to pull her out.
For the best, everyone.
See here. Okay, somebody keeps asking about Rottweilers, but I've already answered that question a couple times.
She likes Rottweilers.
So I can't keep answering the same questions, you guys.
I'll put a sign in the back.
I have to answer other questions. Let me see here. What do you think of a GSD Husky mix? I think that you're looking at a very high energy dog. A very high energy, very high shedding dog. What breeds of dogs have you owned before? Oh my god.
We can't even count how many. Yeah, no. Sorry about that.
Anatolian Shepherd, Great Pyrenees, French Bulldog, Pit Bull, American Bulldog, Dachshund, German Shepherd, French Bulldog, Great Dane, Black and Tan Coonhound, Cane Corso, Old English Bulldog. Is that it?
Bull Terrier, right? You had those.
Bull Terrier.
Those are the ugly dogs that I didn't
She doesn't like Bull Terriers.
They're ugly to me. Their noses and
I like them.
They scared me as a little kid. I was like, what is wrong with your nose? Yeah. Like, they were long nose and stuff. I was like...
let me see here.
Yorkshire.
Love Caesar Milan. Yorkshire Terriers, not really my thing. They're cute and all, but not really my thing. How was the Anatolian? Yeah, I did not like the Anatolian at all. Yeah, no. That is a breed that is designed to be out on their own with a herd, taking care of them. It doesn't even occur to them to go to a human for direction. So training them is like almost impossible. Even with food is almost impossible. They just don't take to it. That's not what they're for. And they will take off Don't even try to take them off a leash. Not unless you want to be chasing a dog. Like, good luck.
Girl with a gun.
Not for me.
Unfortunately, like, I mean, I know what you're saying is in, like, I need to learn, like, you know, like, in the real world and stuff.
Let me see here.
But again, I'm an impressionable person, and I'll just find my way to the wrong people.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the battles that I went through trying to keep Savannah from associating with people that
it was like really like think of the worst stuff, like the worst, like worst
just
of
yeah.
worst.
Think of the worst thing your 13-year-old could be getting into, and then
put it on your own child. Like think about that on your own kid, like you know.
Yeah, it was very bad. So we've made it through it. We're not perfect, but yeah.
Golden retrievers.
Golden retrievers. I love golden retrievers. I grew up with a golden retriever named Malachi. I love them.
Oh, is that why you named the cat Malachi?
Yeah, I love golden retrievers. The only thing is that
boys and drugs.
They're so sweet and stuff like that, but
exactly.
I like a dog with a little more toughness to them, a little bit more edge. So even though I love golden retrievers, I need a little bit more toughness in my dog.
Somebody said boys and
Irish
drugs.
Setter, I think, are some of the most beautiful dogs out there. I don't have any experience with them personally, but I think they're gorgeous. Let's see. Boys and drugs? No.
Not exactly. It was more of like, if
just
you think
of
like
13-year-old teen emo.
Suicidal,
and
you
then,
know, like all that kind of
she wasn't suicidal.
I was not suicidal. I was not, but the kids that were
the kids at her school were like they idolize like being I'm like so sad and I'm like so depressed like and they like their mental illnesses are like badges of honor that they like, well, I'm like bipolar. It's like, well, I'm like ADHD and bipolar. And
it was a competition.
I just took her out of it. It's just she wasn't learning about education. She was just I don't know what they call that, but that's not school. That's not education. So anyway.
I am lucky.
Let's see here.
You're right. I'm very lucky. Doberman.
So no Shih Tzu. Let's not. Why are greyhounds one of the cheapest dogs to buy? Probably because there's a really big rescue network for them to ensure that the dogs that are raced and then it's the same thing with quarter horses. What they call the off-track not quarter horses, thoroughbreds. OTT, what is it? OTT, off-the-track thoroughbreds, I believe it is.
Velocity.
There's a really big movement to rescue, not rescue, but because an animal that races only has a certain amount of time when they're really good at that, and that they're going to be able to do it for a long time and do it well. So those animals need a place to go after they're done with that. And a lot of people will purchase those animals. It's going to catch them. Don't let them act up. And so anyway, so it's the same thing with the greyhounds. Greyhounds don't race forever. So there's a big network of rescue for them, of people to kind of take those animals in. And it works well. You don't see... I used to do a lot of work with rescues, especially training the dogs there. And I hardly ever saw greyhounds. So it for an animal that gets put into the rescue system more frequently than most, you hardly ever see them in your city shelters. Weimaraners, I don't really, not very fond of them. I just haven't found them to be useful dogs. Most of them I've seen to be very nervous and just not they're pretty, but just not really awesome dogs.
No, they're not high energy dogs.
So, anyway, I want to, it's 11 o'clock, so I'm going to end this. We got to get on with our night and, get the dogs to bed and get my daughter to bed. So
please read my question. Sorry I didn't read it.
Yeah, we'll try to go back and read it, but I just wanted to, we'll do this live stream. I'll try to do... We'll see how often I should do these. I don't know. I was thinking maybe twice a month, but we may end up doing it once a week. We'll just see and how well they do. And, but, if I didn't answer your question this time, make sure to ask it next time. And, we'll go from there. So I really appreciate all of you guys being here and, tuning in for our live stream and asking questions. And like I said, you got any other questions, definitely let me know, and we'll try to answer them at that point. So sorry about the technical issues early on. We'll try to get all that figured out, but it seemed like it worked out. So y'all have a good night, and we will talk with you guys later, okay? Bye. Will you close it down for me?
All right. So do I just press the X in the corner? Right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Good night.
Bye, y'all.
Okay.